this is for the one who ain't never had a love, yeah. This one's for the girl who don't feel like she's enough, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's for the cool kid playing on the school team, crying to himself cause he never had the prom queen. Head full of wands, but they said it's just a pipe dream, yeah. This one's for the kids like me, they never had one day. The ladies always turn their cheek, but they ain't let the fat ones sing. This was for the kids like me, kept working when they had nothing. When people try to take their dreams, they stuck it to them, please don't change. For the nerds and the misfits, bullied by the rich kids, feel like they're alone even though they never did shit. Binging anime to find somebody they could fit with. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's for the people who ain't ever give a fuck, for the people who are down and they just feel like giving up. And this is for the people fighting thoughts that they're stuck. Yeah. This one's for the kids like me, they ain't never had one thing. The ladies always turn their cheek, but they ain't let the fat ones sing. This was for the kids like me, kept working when they had nothing. When people try to take their dreams, they stuck it to them, please don't change. When we get knocked down, we get back up. No, 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 we're not gonna take it. When we get knocked down, we get back up. No, 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 we're not gonna take it. Get knocked down, you get back up. Nah, 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 we're not gonna take it. Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing out there? It's Dave. It's Alex. We're back for another night. That was the worst opening I've ever done in my life.
What the fuck happened there?
I was trying to share it, and I forgot where I was for a second. And then what always throws me off? The end of the song, the Hack No Cap, obviously there. And if you're listening on the audio version, I cut out the Hack song just so you can get right to us. So you won't hear it. But what always throws me off, Dave, and I think I've told Hack this before, but the end of that song, I feel like he should have done one more chorus. Every time I'm waiting for it to come back with one more chorus to end the song.
Well, that's your own damn fault.
It throws me off every time because it's a kind of a breakdown, and I don't know. But yeah, hi everybody. We are doing our daily thing that we are doing. It is September 29th, 2024, and we're here having some fun. If you like what you see, YouTube, X, Facebook, hi everybody that is watching. We appreciate you all. Smash the like button if you're on YouTube. Give us a subscribe over there. If you are on X, please make sure to repost and to follow us there. And then if you're on Facebook, go give us a follow and share the stream there as well, because that is how we do our thing and we grow and we get bigger and better and stronger and faster and all whatever the hell that is. So Dave, how was your day today?
Pretty good. I actually just saw Dolomite on my search history, so now I kind of want to watch that at some point soon.
I mean, because didn't we what do we call it? That was Nate brought that up the other day. Yeah, so thank you, Nate, for that. And you know what? We are missing some Nate right now, and that makes me sad. It's funny too, because I had a joke lined up that had to do with Nate, and it's ruined because he's not here. Because I was gonna be things you can guarantee are death, taxes, and Nate being here with us on the stream, but it's not. And that makes me actually sad. There's Nate, well, he's part of the team and he's not here now. So I digress. Dave, let's jump into some of the fun stuff. Oh, before we do, I'm gonna do my little preamble on my things that I like to talk about. Epstein quiet list. Let's get that. Let's find it. Let's get the people that are on it, and let's throw them through fucking wood chippers. I will continue to bring it up. I will continue to shout from the rooftops about it, that these people need to be brought to justice. And Morby Extreme should be joining me in doing it. Another thing I want to start doing, Dave, and I think this one could be effective too. We had Tina Descovich on a few weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, on the show, and we said that if everyone voting for Trump would just donate $1 to Moms for Liberty, they would have millions of dollars. So we're going to start talking about that here. If you, obviously, if you're watching this, more than likely you're supporting Trump. if you're watching this and you're supporting Trump, please go donate to Moms for Liberty. If you want to know what they're about, go back and watch the episode with Tina Deskovich. She's a co-founder of Moms for Liberty. It is from 2 weeks ago, 2 Wednesdays ago. And you'll see what they're about. They're a fantastic organization that is fighting back against the wokeness in public schools and on school boards. And that's where they started. Now they're expanding out to local and state level political races. So we're excited for them. And yeah, if everyone that votes for Trump, and if you know anybody voting for Trump, tell them to donate $1. It's all you need, $1. Everyone can spare $1. Do I have to play like Sarah McLachlan, like in the eyes?
Can I hold $1?
Hold $1. But yeah, $1. Donate that to Moms for Liberty. If we can get enough Trump supporters to do it, they're going to have millions in their coffers, and then they're going to be able to fight the battle and win in getting non-woke and get the LGBTQ and all the leftist agenda out of school. So that's there. And then lastly, Alex Jones being persecuted. Alex, again, it's wrong. His voice should be heard. You're always welcome here, Alex. Maybe one day I'll say it and he'll hear it and he'll be like, yeah, let's go. I'll do that. Make it the frogs gay. Whatever he does. But yeah, he's being persecuted and it shouldn't be happening. And that's why I will constantly say here that we're standing with Alex Jones and we're standing with his right to speak to his millions of people that he reaches out to every single day. But all right, let's go. Let's have some fun and let's get into the nitty gritty. And by having fun, I mean, let's talk about some fucking retards. Because the people we're about to talk about are the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. They are only second to maybe Extinction Rebellion. And it is the protesters from Just Stop Oil. So people need to know. If people want to know what Just Stop Oil is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is these dumbass people that believe that fossil fuels are killing the world, and they've been convinced that by destroying artwork and things like that, that they're going to get their message across and people on their side. Now, let's bring this bad boy up right here. Boom.
There you go.
All right. So protesters who threw soup at Van Gogh painting sentenced to jail. And this is from ArtNet News. I've never heard of them, but it seems fairly
ArtNet News.
ArtNet News. I don't know what the fuck it is, but this is where the sources come.
It's an art news site. So.
Obviously, and this has to do with it. And they have a law and politics section, which is hilarious.
What?
We're going to click on that later and find out what the fuck ArtNet News talks about politics-wise. I'm interested.
There's an ad that like art can be in law and politics, but it doesn't make sense to necessarily have that. Whatever. Let's just dive into the article.
Oh, man. So yeah, I'm thrown off by that. Anyway, so protesters who threw soup at Van Gogh painting sentenced to jail. An open letter defending the protesters claimed the act was a work of art itself, which is that second headline, Dave. I clicked on it because on my Google Pixel and Google, you can swipe to the left and it'll give you a bunch of things because the algorithm obviously knows me better and I know myself. So it gives me articles of things I'm interested in. So I scroll every once in a while and I saw this one and I'm like, and the title caught my eye. I was like, let's see. These idiots went to jail. That's awesome. And then I see that secondary title and I'm like, wait a minute. It's a work of art. What is going on here? So
because depending on your framework of what art is, depending on your definition of what art is, art in itself is a form of expression of basically anything. So damn near anything can be art, and depending on how your definition is. And there are arguments for the very, very inclusive, huge definition of art. There is an argument for it, but even if you were to call that art, it's still fucking stupid and you still need to go to jail for it. I don't care.
Thing is, it's funny because they bring up that there were other famous artists that went and drove over or erased works of other famous artists and did things over it, and that is considered art. So it's kind of a way to defending. So in this thing, there was a letter from other professionals, over 100 artists and art professionals spoken in defense of their gesture. Now, what these people did is they took soup, and their color that they like to do between Extinction Rebellion, Just Stop Oil is orange. I don't know why orange is symbolistic. Do you know why, Dave?
No.
I don't know the symbolism behind it, but that's what they do. And what had happened is the people that do this art are smart enough to protect it because they know idiots like this exist. And it's behind glass, but the frame is not. So the frame took on damage. And they're saying that they may have caused up to $13,000, 10,000 euros in damage. So while the actual piece of art was protected, the frame may have been damaged. And these frames are legit old frames. They're friggin' expensive frames, obviously $13,000. So they've been jailed in Southwark Crown Court for 2 years. For 2 years and 20 months, respectively, after being convicted of criminal activity when they threw tomato soup on an iconic painting in 2022. So Phoebe Plummer, who's 23, is going to jail for 2 years, and Anna Holland, 22, for 20 months. I'm like, listen, that sucks. You're so stupid that you decided that it was worth going to jail for 2 years and over a year and a half over that. And the thing is, too, what did it accomplish? That's the thing. If their protest accomplished anything in terms of like educating, right? Like you could say when Steven Crowder was doing the Change My Mind, it was a form of a protest, right? In a way, because he's sitting there and he's trying to protest the information out there. And what it is he's trying to debunk things, and it's kind of a debate session, but that's a way. If they're out there places debating and telling people facts and maybe protesting,
no, it's partly to antagonize.
It is. That's the goal.
To do that. That's the point of it.
Yes.
Because there's probably a part of them, I can't remember the phrase right now. Was it good something? I can't remember the phrase right now. But either way, the point. What?
Good Burger.
Welcome no, not Good Burger. We're not Good Burger. Good Burger is an okay movie. It's a good movie. But
Good Burger is a fantastic movie. The second one's okay. The first one's great.
The first one's good. The first one has good moments. I don't know if I love the whole first one.
Well, you weren't really around for like the big time of all that, though. Yeah. So it was like coming off of that and being a kid and watching that. It's awesome. Fuck off, Dave.
Anyway, but the whole, even if they believe that they're doing this thing that will get people talking about oil, even if they're, transgressing upon what the art at this art house and everything like that, and they believe that they're doing that, the ones that threw the soup, most of the people that are at probably the heads of Just Stop Oil know that a good portion of this is to antagonize people against the group, to get it to blow up, and so that there can be a bigger reaction towards them, so they can say, look, the people that want big oil are really evil, they're fascists.
Yeah. What's up, Squiggles McJr.? We appreciate you. You're our newest follower. You've been commenting a ton, and we appreciate you. That's awesome. But
I did watch some of all that.
But you were young.
Yes.
You were young for a lot of it. Like all that in its heyday was like when I was growing up and things like that, and all that was pretty damn awesome. But so the letter comes from Greenpeace, Dave, so it's not really surprising. The authors,
exactly. All of the artists are anti-human people, not pro-climate change, not pro-climate, not pro-environment. They're anti-human people.
Yes. And they described the flung soup as Pollock-esque splatter across the yellow mustard drooping blooms. And they said that it could be called iconoclasm. And they gave some examples of different artists that basically defaced other famous works. Now, here's the thing. The difference between that with iconoclasm and what they're doing. The iconoclasts were doing it as a form of artwork. And it was, that was the goal, was to basically fix the art, right? They're doing it as a form of protest. This isn't a form of art. This wasn't there to add anything or, say anything about the Van Gogh painting itself.
But yet again, so you can 100% make the argument that this is a form of art. You can make that argument. That's fine. But then you also have to extend that argument to say, look, someone with the consent of someone else could kill them. They consented to be killed. They could kill them and rearrange their organs after they kill them to make an art piece. And you could call that art. That doesn't make it legal. That doesn't make it okay. But you can call that art if you want to extend the definition that far. That's fine. I don't care. That doesn't mean that, this is just fine. That's not the argument for why we should just allow it to happen.
You know what, though? I'm going to go as far as to say no. Fuck that. I'm not saying anything is art. I refuse because
that's
not
fine
everything
yet again.
is art. Not
that's
everything
fine yet again. I'm just saying, even within their own argument, even within that argument, that doesn't give any kind of vantage to what they're trying to say. that's just a whole different tangential thing that
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
It's kind of a, I guess, qualifier that doesn't need to exist. Like, it can be art. Fuck off. It's not art. Throwing soup on a painting with the express purpose of a protest is not art. If you were doing it because you wanted to change Van Gogh's vision, okay, that we could talk about that, right? Like, that is different because you're coming at it from an artist perspective. These fuckers weren't coming at it from an artist perspective. They were coming at it from a destructive perspective. If they could have destroyed the painting, they would have. They're not mad about that. That's not,
Well,
they don't give
yeah,
a shit
well,
about the painting.
the painting is just a whole different. It's a vehicle to what the hell they want to do, because
Yeah.
really what they want to do is have everyone live in huts, like in
No, they want to
much-
die. These are first world
yes.
people that don't understand that they would be the
Well,
first motherfuckers to
they
die.
want
They
want
know
less
that.
population. They want people to
They're-
die in general.
But they're the ones that are going to get killed. The people that are on top that are teaching them this are going to kill them first. This is like how it always works, because they're the revolutionaries. So you kill the revolutionaries first. So then once their revolution is done, they can't revolt against you. It is textbook, and these people are morons. Anyway, I do want to bring this up because this judge is fucking fantastic. Judge Christopher Hayer of Southwark Crown Court warned that they should be, quote, prepared in practical and emotional terms to go to prison. Flat out told them, you're going to be fucking off for a little while. So that's awesome. I just want to highlight that. And that's kind of basically the big gist of this. I'm happy that they're going to jail. I think, 2 years I think that's actually a pretty fair sentence for what they
I would
did.
have given them more.
I would have given them more, but in terms of fairness, I think that's because it's behind the glass.
I
And
think it's fair in general.
Yeah.
But in order to send Just Stop Oil and anyone else who wants to do this shit I would give them more. But I
they
mean,
don't care. They don't care. The going to jail is a badge of honor for these types of.
they don't. Some of them don't care.
Some of
You're
them.
going to scare off a decent amount of them from
Maybe.
doing that shit.
Maybe
They'll be in the meeting like, I don't know, maybe we should do something else.
I mean, it's crazy. So here's an update, though. Here's what I want to bring up, which is fucking hilarious. Here's update. I'm gonna read this to everyone. The sentencing has provoked a counter protest by Just Stop Oil. Just hours after the news broke, 3 activists entered the recently opened Van Gogh Poets and Lovers exhibition at the National Gallery and threw Heinz vegetable soup all over 2 sunflower paintings, one of which was the same work that Plummer and Holland had previously targeted. The other is on loan from the Philadelphia Museum of Art. So it looks like some judges in the UK are going to have some more work to do.
Yep.
So, I mean, like you said, Dave, maybe they need to send more matches. And here's the thing. These next individuals will probably get a steeper sentence because they're from the same organization. It is obviously a targeted attack.
It's cool. Those pieces of artwork are priceless. And it depends how you as a society view your priceless
artifacts and things like
artifacts
that. Those are artifacts
and
of the time.
Yes.
So so I think that we saw 2 years and 20 months. I'll be interested. They didn't give the names of these people.
And I think it being in the frame and it not being itself damaged probably did
help
make it help them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be interested. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled to see if I can track what goes on now, because it's gonna be a few years from now that we're gonna see. But I wonder, those people are definitely gonna be arrested and they're gonna be sentenced, because the first ones got arrested and are going to prison. 2 years and 20 months. I think we're going to see now closer to 3 years and maybe 3.5 years. Like, because
it might be boosted, just depending on what it is. Like,
and it might be for the reason that we now have to send the message to you fucking people that this is not okay. We thought, what we were doing with the others was fair.
It all depends on the judge too, because if the judge has some proclivities to what their messaging is, they'll just get off.
Agreed. But you know what though? What is good is that the lawyers have precedent now, which is big. Even with the judge that has proclivities, it's hard to really argue against the precedent that was now set. And basically because it is the same exact crime
in a sane world. In a sane world, that's true. I don't necessarily trust some judges on what they want to do.
I'm surprised that judge in the UK gave him anything.
Yes,
because the fucking UK is insane.
I mean, if I'm Just Stop Oil, you want to get away from any sentencing, you get migrants to do it, because then they'll be fine. Nothing's gonna happen.
Migrants are gonna tell you to fuck off because they don't want to do that. Okay.
Look,
they just wanted to steal some more girls, and because UK does nothing about them taking girls and making fucking rape gangs.
But they still need money a lot of them are delivery drivers and stuff like that because they still need money in some aspect.
Sure.
You offer them some kind of money just to go do that. You'll find some that'll be more than willing.
All right, so let's go from insanity to more insanity because let's just start this fucking show off with some insanity. So let's see. Boom, 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 boom. This is an article from. I forgot to click on Law and Politics. I might have to go back and click on that later. This is an article from yesterday.
Giving them ideas. I got it.
I got to go look on that. But this is an article from yesterday. Let me pull this up. Boom, boom, boom. Because this is another fucking crazy thing that went on. So,
No, yeah.
so right here, Florida. Oh, what's going on? Nah, I didn't mean to click that.
No,
I'm malfunctioning.
what are you
I'm
doing?
malfunctioning. I'm
Are you okay?
Florida congressional candidate.
Stroking out.
I'm glitching. Charged with threatening to kill primary opponent. Now, what they don't tell you is that this was from a opponent in a 2022 primary. The opponent was Anna Paulina Luna, the right's favorite fucking smoke show in Congress. Okay, this guy. Let's see. So William Robert Braddock III, 41 of St. Petersburg, Florida, was charged with threatening two people, one of whom the DOJ said was his primary opponent in 2022 election for Florida's 13th congressional district. Braddock allegedly threatened to call up my Russian-Ukrainian hit squad and make the primary opponent disappear, according to the indictment. Now, the DOJ indictment did not name any victims, but you're looking at it. And what happened was Anna Paulina Luna and Aaron Olszewski, I'm fucking your name up, Dave. How do you say this? Olszewski. They were
Olszewski.
They were granted a temporary restraining order, so it's kind of like connect the dots here, right? He's threatened to kill two people. Here we go. They got a restraining order. So Anna Paulina Luna obviously won. She's in Congress, and this is where it gets fucking crazy. Okay, because not only did he had to come in for sentencing and all that happened. But after allegedly making the threats, Braddock fled the country and was later found to be residing in the Philippines, according to the DOJ. He was then deported to the U.S. Hey, people get deported. What do you know? And made his first court appearance Thursday in Los Angeles per the DOJ release. So this guy knew he was fucked, knew what he did, and tried to go to the Philippines, which, of all places, why do you choose a friendly nation?
Because that was
close to the Philippines.
But it was probably like the quickest thing, and maybe he didn't think he'd be found, or maybe he didn't think it would be like serious enough that they would care enough. I mean, he did threaten a Republican, so you can just kind of do things and get away with that when it's against Republicans.
But he's a Republican as well.
But still,
so
doesn't matter because that's their whole defense a lot of times. Remember, both of the people who shot at Trump were Republicans, right?
No, they weren't.
So they weren't. They weren't. But they would still condone it. They don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I found this story to be fucking crazy. And it's like, but I get it. He just thought Philippines, whatever. But you don't go there. You go to Russia.
Maybe
you go to China. You go to.
Maybe he was looking for a wife. I know people who have went to the Philippines and found themselves a wife. Maybe he was doing that while he was on the run.
Did they check? Did they make sure it was a wife? Because Philippines is one of those places that you never know. You never know what you're getting underneath there. You never know. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. That is one of those.
He might like surprises.
The Philippines is still America. It might as well be.
Yeah.
It might as well be. All right. Dave, do you want to jump into some nerdy stuff?
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Let's do it. You lead the charge here.
The first one.
Hey, Nate, there you are.
First one, which is a very fun one, at least I love it, is something that was already announced a while ago, but now it's close up. The original Backyard Baseball. What? You sent it back.
I don't know when you're going to
You said I'm in charge, and then you send things back.
You're never actually in charge.
But the original Backyard Baseball is coming to Steam, which is awesome. And now this is a very bare bones article. It just tells you when it's going to come out, tells you how big it was when it was a thing, and then how later generations, especially the Xbox ones, and when they lost the licensing and everything, kind of went bad, really bad. But one thing I did find interesting is that the team noted that they don't have access to the original game's source code. So it precludes a number of potential enhancements like gamepad, Steam Deck, or Mac OS support. But we are getting on Steam. We are getting Backyard Baseball on there, so that's awesome.
You know what's nice? They might have lost the source code, but they still own the rights to all the characters. They still own all of that.
Yes.
So you could still get the same game as long as you watch it. They probably watched and played it and tried to build it as close as they could with modern tech to that. So like they're good enough now. You have people that the modders can fucking go make this game probably.
Yeah.
So it's like to get a bunch of devs in there to really do it. It's awesome. Dave, we played the shit out of Backyard Baseball.
Yes, but not only Backyard Baseball, but Backyard sports games.
Yeah.
So I remember I played Backyard Football a ton.
Yup.
I played so many, the Backyard games on the PC were incredible. They were so much fun. They were the perfect type of games for kids to play.
The thing that made them fun too is while they were kind of caricatures of the games, they were close enough to the real games. They followed the same rules and things like that.
No, yeah,
when
exactly.
you were still playing the game, it was just it was like you were playing with like the Peanuts crew, basically. It was like you're playing Charlie Brown version.
It is a perfect way to make an arcade game of a sport and make it make it as fun as possible for kids to play
and introduce them to the sport and make them enjoy the sport.
Yeah, like you don't get bored playing Backyard Baseball or Backyard Football or really any of the backyard games. You have a great time with them and you could play them for hours.
And I think what made it fun too is because they had like superstars of the game in those, like in all of them, but their created players.
Not in the first one.
Not in the first one.
First one didn't have anyone.
No, the first one.
It was just the backyard kids.
Pablo was the dog. And what was the hit kid? He was really good. Pete
Wheeler.
Pete Wheeler. He was really good too. Those were
Pete Wheeler's as fast as hell, man.
Pablo was the fastest guy in the game, though. I think
Pete was the fastest guy.
Was he?
Pete was the fastest guy, but Pablo's like right under him.
He's
Pablo's the best character in the game.
Yeah,
Pablo. Yeah, every game. Pablo's a goddamn monster.
Top belly motherfucker. Amazing. But it was cool when they did start to bring in the pros because it's not like the pros automatically overshadowed. Like Pete and Pablo are probably still better than most of the pros.
Yeah, well, because there's the kid version of the pros.
But it was just fun to see that they didn't bring in the pros and automatically take over. Like you integrated them into it, and it was cool to play with them.
Yeah, and what is fun about the games is they had some kind of depth to them. Because you could I remember the twin sisters.
Quick, Dave, Squiggles, I think this is the problem. AI is so good now that if you have the source code, you could train the model on it and completely recreate the code. The issue with this, Squiggles, is they don't have the source code, so they couldn't even use AI to remodel.
Yeah, but and even then, it takes a bit to train it.
Yes,
training AI models takes a bit, but you can 100% do that, and AI can be really good at that shit. It just takes a while and takes what you're doing in order to be able to do it.
You can finish your thought now.
Yeah, but it has a good decent amount of depth because if you had the twin sisters on the same team, it actually ups their stats.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, some players I think Ernie Steele, if he plays at his arena because it's Steel Stadium, he has up stats in that game in that arena. So there's actually some good stuff in some good depth in that game, which you wouldn't necessarily expect. That and Super Mario Baseball are probably the two of the best arcade baseball games I've ever played.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Most of the Super Mario games were fun. The Super Mario Tennis and things like that. They did a
source
really
material from video. Yeah, you could. Yeah, that is true. You're right about that too. You could do that just straight from the video. Yeah.
You know what though? They probably sat there and they looked at it and they were like, you know what, we could do this. We could train it, or we could just redevelop the game. And I think they probably thought it would probably be more, better to easier to just redevelop the game.
Yeah, I mean it's old game. It's not that necessary. Not that
it's glorified Flash game, basically.
Yeah, it's not incredibly difficult. But I didn't want to show the trailer.
Let's watch this trailer. 50 seconds. I'm fucking.
That it's similar to what it was. Basically the same.
Time again. Time for some nonstop baseball fun.
It's like the same exact thing.
Play ball.
All this stuff proves is that the 90s were the best time. With X-Men 97, like being a hit, basically harkening back to that. This is from 97. Like the 90s was the perfect decade. Now, one of the things that I found cool is it does look exactly the same. They
Yes.
did a really good job. It's even down to like the clubhouse and how they
Mhm.
decide with the hands. Like that was really sweet. Where is it going to be playable?
I think just on Steam.
Just on Steam.
Let me see if it is going to go to consoles. But yeah, no, I think it's just on Steam. I
That'd be
don't
so
think
much fun if they put it to Switch. Like this would be smart for Nintendo to try and jump in with this. Because if you can go mobile on the Switch with this, you will now open up to so many more kids because kids will play the shit out of this game everywhere.
Hold up. It'll cost $10. That's awesome.
And
That's incredible.
we are big proponents of that. I'm gonna, Dave, when you buy it, I'll send you 5, so we can split it. Because I know the girls, I'll let them play it on the computer. The girls will play the crap out of it.
But it is just on Steam. I don't believe it's gonna have online multiplayer. That would be one of the things that would be incredible. Holy shit! Can you imagine that?
Can you be non-binary in this game? Maybe
No,
you could dream.
you didn't.
Fucking dreamer.
You didn't have it. You didn't have it in this game. You had
You don't
normal
have body
kids.
type 1 and body
You
type
had
2.
normal kids in this game. Normal kids.
We need body type 1 and body type 2.
Squiggles saying, I want to use the concept of video training a few AI models to recreate new versions of Resident Evil from the old PlayStation 1 games. Ooh, that would be awesome.
If you could do that, that would be fucking sweet. And then you like let it out to the mods of the world to play it. Like that would be fun.
And I do love, I'm looking on the Steam page right now. They are loving on Pablo Sanchez. Like they said, because one of the things, they have all the headers for like all the stuff you could do. One of the things is play with the GOAT himself, Pablo Sanchez. Because that man is dominant.
Here's
absolute
the thing.
Dominancy.
There has been, this generation does not understand Pablo Sanchez. Anyone from our generation sits there. There's always the joke about being Pablo Sanchez. Like he is the fucking GOAT of games. Like I don't know. They just picked a fat little Mexican and just made him freaking awesome. Like it's fantastic. He's so good.
There will be a global leaderboard.
That's pretty cool.
So you could track home runs, strikeouts, grand slams, season wins, more in real time. So that's pretty cool.
And you know what the beauty is? The fact that it's on Steam and obviously it's going to be connected online. They can, if there's enough interest, if they can get, a few thousands of people playing this, they will probably start to add a league function. They maybe will add those types.
Can you imagine people? I would jump on play backyard baseball.
I would absolutely. Could you imagine if what is the what's the name of the gaming tournament that they always have every year? I forget what it is. There's a gaming tournament. If they have backyard baseball as one of the fucking
trying to think. I can't
how to pick a Pablo. Yeah, let me go pull up.
You're thinking of Pablo Sandoval.
Pablo Sandoval.
You're pulling up Pablo Sanchez?
Yeah, not bad.
The boy. Did you see him in like the Xbox games?
No, how bad?
He's skinny.
No,
it's
you can't do that.
It's awful. Like the fact if you see Pablo Sanchez fit, that's a problem. That is a genuine problem.
Yeah, let me open this in a new tab because we need to see Pablo in all of his fucking glory.
Oh yeah. Yeah, any hit could be a home run with Pablo.
This is the dog right here. Let's pull him up. Boom, that's the GOAT right there.
Backyard Baseball 2001, but yeah, that's basically how he looks.
You know what though? I found one that it looks.
Yeah, no, that's how he looks. Yeah.
Some reason, listen, Pablo Sandoval, I think, tried to imitate Pablo Sanchez's body type, and it worked for a few years for Pablo Sandoval. But no, Pablo's fantastic. And Backyard Baseball, we recommend everybody watching to pick up Backyard Baseball. $10. You can't go wrong. If you have Steam, pick it up for $10. And if you have your favorite streamer, encourage them to play. Oh, I'm definitely gonna. James will play the shit out of this, man.
I will say a bunch of YouTubers were playing Backyard Baseball before this got announced on YouTube. Yeah. Like they had series of play. Not the Expert, who I watch, played it. Had a whole
skinny Pablo got off.
Was in sugar. Well, maybe.
I don't know, man. The Mexican diet ain't letting him get off any of that.
Exactly. But yeah, Not the Expert has like a full 7-hour video of like of Backyard Baseball. That's Meat fantastic. Canyon has a whole series of him playing Backyard Baseball. So
because
It
it's
was a big
legitimately
thing.
fun. It's just
Yeah.
legitimately a fun game.
Yeah, and you can make a lot of content off of it. So do you want to stick to nerdy stuff, or do you
Yeah,
want to?
let's keep going. Let's stay in the nerdosphere here.
Okay, so we'll get to something that you might enjoy heavily.
I'm excited already.
So I found this article
You could pull it up. I won't do anything.
about the good boy Hideo Kojima.
Who inexplicably Razor Fist hates.
I know
will
some
fight
people
you.
do not like Hideo Kojima, which is understandable because some of the pacing in games are, especially the later ones, are not for people who enjoy slower pacing, or maybe someone who doesn't want to watch cinematics all the time, like in Metal Gear Solid 4. But either way, I love the Metal Gear Solid games.
Yes.
I enjoy Death Stranding. Like I said, he might be hit or miss to some people, but Hideo Kojima is a huge name in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And Variety sat down for an interview with him, asking him about basically his next phases, asking him about making movies. Alex left because he had to yawn. I'm watching him right now.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, and he answered all about the things that he's intending on doing after leaving Kojima, what his interest was. So he loves movies. He wants to make Death Stranding into a movie, but I'm just paraphrasing the article. But his main focus right now is on the next games he has to come out because he wants to build his IPs.
Games.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he wants to build his IPs first and then be able to make movies off them. And he's touting how his corporation is, his new corporation is indie, because he's Kojima Productions now.
Yeah.
So it's a fully indie thing, but he can partner with bigger things. And he's really happy about that because it gives him a lot of freedom. But the first thing he wants to do is finish the game OD with Jordan Peele, which had a very interesting, I believe it was a trailer or some kind of teaser.
Yeah.
I can't remember what award show, but I think it was an award show that came out. And he said, it's a game like no other. I can't go into too much detail, and it's also hard to explain, but it's a bit risky and a new challenge for me within the realm of games. So that's interesting from Kojima, because he's done a ton of weird shit that no one would think of doing in games.
He definitely has. He's been pretty revolutionary in a lot of ways with the things.
Yes.
Here's the thing, Squiggles.
He can't
finish Metal Gear.
He can't.
Because
that's Konami.
That's Konami. He was kicked off those projects. They have full rights to Metal Gear.
Yep.
He could make something Metal Gear adjacent, but he'd have to be careful because Konami.
Which
oh boy.
He said there's also another project. I believe this is Scient or Fizzent, an espionage game, but it's still in the early concept stage. Yeah. So yeah. So his whole goal, as he says throughout this whole thing, is to build his IPs, make these games, and then branch into movies. But his reaction to how things are going nowadays in every way is that everything is digital now. Yeah. Basically all of movies is digital.
Yep.
So he said he's getting connections and he's being able to talk to people in the industry, whether it's movies or anything else, just entertainment wise. And not only do people know him because he's Hideo Kojima,
course they know Hideo Kojima,
but now he can actually speak to them in a way that really connects easily because everyone understands the digital process. It's not he's trying to bridge into someone who's using film for everything, using all these practical effects, doesn't really do too much digitally. But now everything is so digital that it makes conversations a lot easier.
And I could also imagine there's less constraints because now he doesn't have to deal with Konami and he doesn't have to worry about
100%.
Like he's his own man now.
100%. But he seems so happy in this article. He seems like he's in just like the prime of his life and what he wants to do because he's so ready to build these IPs.
The crazy thing that you have to think about, he was right about everything in Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of the Patriots. Yeah. The Lolly Lulelo, like the deep state. Lolly Lulelo was the deep state. Everything he was talking about, how like they want to replace the president and things like that. Like he basically like Kojima needs, like he probably knows all this shit. Like he's probably just reads a lot and he understands what goes on. But it's like he was talking about the deep state. God, when did Metal Gear Solid come out? Solid 2? It was a PlayStation 2 game. So shit, early 2000s. Like it's pretty crazy. I mean, and he's made like in reality, he's made some of the greatest films of all time, right? Because Metal Gear Solid is a film. Like there is more film than gameplay in 4. So it's like, and they're really good. And it's like, if you've never played the game, I recommend watching the cutscenes because they add a lot. They're fun and it's a good movie. Some of them can get pretty heady, but it's worth it and it makes the experience better because now you understand what your character is doing. If you played them before and you're just trying to go through a playthrough, I wouldn't disagree with you skipping cutscenes. That's fine because you've seen them before, you understand them. But still, there's things that go over your head in a lot of things.
Yep.
So we are the Patriots. We are, and Squiggles. That's fucking hilarious because
They said
Dave
whole life by
knows.
Metal Gear.
Dave knows how big of a Metal Gear fan I am, even though I still never played 5.
Oh, you never played? Oh, you need to play 5. 5 is great.
I stopped
5 is
gaming.
awesome.
I stopped gaming, and he was like, "So I'm already debating on buying."
I
a
heard he
PlayStation
watches
5.
InfoWars. He might actually.
I
Hideo Kojima might watch InfoWars.
He probably got all of his information from Alex Jones, but I've already debated getting a PS5 just because of Sparking Zero, because that game looks so fucking good, and I might really want to get it, but I don't know. But this now,
You'd
he
be
now
able
is
to do it. It's
releasing
not-
these games on PlayStation 5. I might have to get one.
It's not like PS5s are that hard to obtain now. I think some people have had difficulty, but it might just be where you live.
And I'll wait
But,
for Christmas, to be quite honest. I know they'll be
yeah.
on sale. Like, they won't
Yeah.
still be $500. I probably can get one for like
Yeah.
$350.
But the thing is, you don't need a PS5 for Metal Gear Solid 5. You just need a PS4.
I know, but if I want to play the new stuff that Kojima is making, that's what I mean. Not 5.
Even
is
though,
4.
well, the new stuff's down the line. That's a good thing.
I agree, but Sparking
V,
Zero,
not
I'm not
5,
gonna,
yes.
I'm not gonna play Sparking Zero on a
Yeah.
PlayStation 4.
No.
I'm gonna play with those
Sparking
graphics
Zero,
on
no.
PlayStation 5. So
But
that's
anyway, real quick, just to end this off, and he says, for the third phase, I would like to work with talented people from around the world to create something new, with digital being the key word. It could be a movie, a game, or something else entirely. I can't die until then. I don't think I'm trying to do anything too out of the ordinary. So he's just up there, man. He's wants to do something ridiculous.
I'm actually happy that Kojima hasn't been discouraged by some of his, non-successes in their eyes, right? Because they still sold millions of games, but
Mhm.
it wasn't the movement that Metal Gear 1, 2, 3, 4, and V were. Sorry. V.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know, because those were, and even like Metal Gear Rising, where you were just having fun in that game. And
was that
such.
Kojima?
Yeah, it was Kojima. He did all that, and that's the thing. Like, he had fun with all that stuff, so it's great. Ocelot is a true son of outer heaven and my all-time favorite in the entire series. I mean, Ocelot holds a special place in our heart. Squiggles, I don't know if you know, Epic Mike, his channel, he's been doing playthroughs of, he did 1, 2, he's on to 3, and I think he's trying to complete the series. So if you don't follow Epic Mike yet, go follow Epic Mike. He does Sneak Meek. We've already bullied him in the chat to try and eat a dog, even though he can't eat a dog, and then he just murdered a dog, and we've made fun of him ever since. But we love Mike. But yeah, Mike has been, yesterday
Dog eater.
yesterday he did part 8. He's getting close because he just I think he just beat the Sorrow a few nights ago. So
Oh, he just beat the sun. He probably died a couple times.
oh, he died a bunch of times. I had to leave before we finished the Sorrow, but I was watching it, and he's like, "I didn't know I killed this many people."
Yeah, you never know. You never know until you're walking down that river and you're like, "Oh shit, what is happening?"
We kept on telling him the dog was going to come and chase after him, the
Yeah.
ghost dog. Yeah, no. You replay every 2 to 3 years the full series. That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. That's awesome. I mean, it's warranted.
It still holds up. And my favorite of the series is 3, which is he's playing right now, because it was so in depth. You had to do so much. It wasn't just playing, and having everything. You had to take care of Snake. You could get Snake sick. He can freaking have hypothermia. Like, you can go through a lot. And it kind of reminded me of like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, as opposed to Skyrim, where Skyrim, nothing got dull. You can use your weapons. Oblivion, you needed to keep your weapons sharp.
Yep.
You needed to maintain them. So it was like the difference there. And even though Skyrim is definitely a better game than Oblivion,
And that is
Oblivion was
interesting,
more
though. I
in-depth.
will say this, because a lot of game series, usually the first ones start out as like so damn in depth. They have so much in them. And then the further on they get in the series, they kind of cut out more. Like that happened with Mass Effect. Like it's not as in depth. And
Metal Gear got more.
Metal Gear didn't do that. Like at least not in the direction of 1, 2, and 3.
And also, you have to think of how many series takes out a legendary fan favorite protagonist, replaces it completely in its second installment, and through hatred of that character
People did not
initially,
like Raiden.
completes the game. And when you complete the game, though, you love Raiden by the end.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know the fact that they bring
After
in
doing
Snake as
cartwheels
Plissken,
while naked, you
yes,
end up. You
but
end up
they bring
loving
in
it.
Snake while Plissken, and just the way that game ends, and it's like, what other game series can do that? Can take away, because the first one was a masterpiece, the story was amazing, and then you start off the second one by playing Snake. You have no idea you're going to switch.
Yep.
You just think that you're starting off, you're battling with the Metal Gear Ray and whatever it is, and then all of a sudden you go and there's this whitish blonde-haired motherfucking ninja looking thing coming at, and it's like, wait, what? Who the fuck is this guy?
Yep.
Like, where's my people? Like, what is going on here? So it's like, it's such a switch. But like you said, Dave, Kojima's taken chances before, been successful. He's had success, he's had less success. But if he's motivated and now he's free, he's going to get funding for whatever he wants. There is going to be people with deep pockets allowing him to do his thing, because it's not even 10 years ago that he had still one of the best games around with V. So it's like, V, what is V? 10 years old, probably. So
Yes,
I think it's about a decade old. But it's like, I mean, it's just crazy just to what he's been able to do.
Yeah, about 2015.
Yeah. It's amazing what he's been able to do with that series, and they fucking killed it, because they fucking suck. They pushed him out and then they killed it. So,
Oh wait, yeah. What'd you expect? Because look, even if people get turned off by Kojima's style, especially when he gets more into his like cinematics and
Mhm.
more into being like really like in depth with his storylines and really almost convoluted at points. But even if that turns people off, it is still the creativity that also brings people in.
I just think that it's so funny that every game he promises less cinematics, and every game he adds like 17 more hours instead. Like, I remember the big thing with 4 is he's like, 4 is going to be more about the gameplay. It's a little more war-esque. We're not going to put in as many cinematics. And quite literally, I think there's like 17 minutes of gameplay, and half of it's getting stomped by those fucking 2-leg frog things. Outside of that,
I loved 4. I played the hell out of 4.
4 was so much fun.
I played the hell out of
War has changed. It's so good. All right, we could talk about Metal Gear is one of those series that I could talk about for hours.
I
and
still have
hours.
Fox Sound as my computer background.
I know you do, which is hilarious too. Like,
When I stick with.
you've had Foxhound, you've had that Foxhound now on all your computers. It's like you
Yes.
automatically put it up there.
Yes.
It's probably been going on for the better part of
I've thought about getting it tatted. I've
since
thought
Metal
about
Gear
getting it tatted.
3, probably. Like, you've had, since you watched me play, you did play with me.
I watched you play a lot. I played through all of 2. I
You
played
did.
through most of 3. I don't think I finished 3, but I finished
Oh,
4.
you have to have that boss fight.
I never played the first Metal Gear Solid, at least not fully through, which is bad on me. I need to play it.
There
But
are
I have the
emulators.
collection.
You can
so I
absolutely go. Yeah, I would go play it.
Yeah.
You should absolutely go play it.
Yeah.
What do you call it? They don't have 4 in the collection, Dave?
No, it's just 1, 2, and 3. So they actually have Metal Gear and then Metal Gear 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 3. They do not have 4 in the collection.
Interesting. That is interesting. Okay. So what do we want to move on to, Dave? Let's end off let's do our last 2 nerdy topics. We'll get done with the nerdy.
Well, this one's real quick, mainly
do
because
you want to do the Rocky Horror one or the other one first? You want to end off with the funny one?
Well, no, we'll end off with Rocky Horror because Rocky Horror is really quick. But this one's also going to be quick because mainly I just want to make fun of this person. Why is my video game full of Russian propaganda? Gamers have become unwitting agents in a global cultural war.
Who is that? Joshua. What's the person's name?
Joshua Faust.
Faust.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. His name is fucking Faust. He's Faustian.
An assistant professor of public relations at the S.I. Newhouse School of Public Communications at Syracuse University. Look at this picture. I love it. I don't know why he would use. That's not an Atari. That's too small to be an Atari controller.
He's a fucking goober.
But this is the same talking points that we see from a lot of leftists. And it's basically, oh, Russians are using games as a way to get people into the far right. All of these games have a way for people to get people to just subscribe to a far right ideology. We see it in Roblox. But one of my
In
favorite,
Roblox.
yeah, but one of my favorite things that I saw in this is that he brings up Gamergate. Consider how Gamergate,
God.
a 2014 campaign to terrorize women working in the industry into invisibility, metastasized into an online troll army working to get former US President Donald Trump elected in 2016. So there you have it. In this article, Gamergate got Trump elected.
Oh
Let's
my
fucking go.
God.
I don't get why they want to give Gamergate that win, because in all actuality, Gamergate was a loss for gamers.
It was.
It was a good thing that it was happening, but Gamergate was a loss for gamers, obviously what's going on now. And the fact that they keep wanting to give Gamergate this win of electing Trump, I'll take it. That's awesome. But it's just weird to me that they keep wanting to give
What
Gamergate.
Gamergate did is it opened up people's eyes to the shit going on, and it made them perk their ears up more, so that when it came around again about 5 months ago, it was easily caught. And people that were knew what to look for, that were a part of Gamergate 1, caught it quickly. And
Well, but the thing is that now the power is less in their hands.
Yeah.
There is less fogginess in what was going on, and like how fucking Anita Sarkeesian and other people like her could just lie to these game companies.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did basically. They just
100%.
found a way to grift in, get money in order to tell game companies to make their games worse.
Mhm.
And it's yet again still happening to this day. Basically, why Ubisoft is going into the goddamn gutter, and it's also why you're getting so many outbursts over whether or not something's going to be woke or however else you want to put it. Just like what is happening with Ghost of Yotei right now, because look, I completely understand why people are like, fuck, like we've seen this before. Ghost of Tsushima is great. Now there's a female protagonist. What the fuck is going on? This doesn't look like it's going to be good.
It
This
doesn't
looks
smell
like
right.
it doesn't smell right. And
Yeah.
I completely get it. And functionally, it's just pattern recognition. I think we need to wait a little bit more. Just, you don't have to pay into it. So at least that's good. You're not losing money while being bamboozled on what it is. So I think it's best to wait and see what's going to happen. Say whatever you want, but wait and see what's going to happen before you fully dock the game, because of how good Tsushima was. Just giving them the benefit of doubt in a slight way, because they've already done a good thing.
I'm right with you, Squiggles McJr. I don't buy it.
And that's completely fair.
And if I do like a new game, I am going to wait
Yes,
at least
you wait.
6 months.
Yeah.
First off, I'll see people I trust that are in the YouTube world play
And
it.
I would say
and-
new AAA games, because
fucking
there are some smaller games that come out,
Yeah, that are
like
good.
the G.I. Joe game
Mhm.
that Jeremy keeps talking about. Looks fucking fun. It's a beat 'em up. It's simple. It's probably not long, but it looks really fun to play. Probably not even a lot of money.
Listen, the whatchamacallit, the new TMNT game, the Wrath, was it the Wrath of
Shredder's
Shredder?
Revenge?
Shredder's Revenge
Yeah.
is one of the best games around right now, and it's a fucking fantastic beat 'em up. It is basically the classic arcade version, and it's amazing. So it's like, it's okay. Like that's beat 'em ups are not a bad thing.
No, beat 'em
know.
ups are a lot of fun. I'm just saying, like, it's going to be something small. It's going to be something that you're not going to play, a ton, but it's going to be something that's fun and you can play.
Squiggles McJr. I'm not pro Russia. I just don't give a fuck about anyone else but America. In reality, maybe Italy and Ecuador to an extent, because I have family there. Okay, that's where I'll extend it out. Outside of that, it can
And
all
yet
kind of
again,
fuck
I will
off.
say this: there are games that look fun as shit that you could buy. They're new, but they're not AAA. Here, I'll share this right. Oh,
Go
wait.
ahead.
I'll share this right here. I just saw this because I have a YouTuber I watch, IGP. He just played this game, Duckside. Duckside, absolutely ridiculous concept,
Amazing.
but survival DayZ type of game where you're ducks, you could team up, you could play, and you can have a lot of fucking fun. You fly around as a goddamn duck and you're fighting other
And he's
ducks.
wearing an army hat and shooting guns. So it's
Yes.
our world, but you're controlling the PAL.
in some way you can't capture. Yeah, exactly. But like it just
And
looks
enslave
like fun.
humans.
It just looks like people made this
Yeah.
for fun.
Yeah.
So there are games that you could, and I think it's only $10 for it's early access. Only $10 right now. There's 35% off. So there are
Fantastic.
things that you could play. Yeah, you got huge. There are things that you could play. It's just now you have to look a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good right now. Like Steam's a good thing, and you just gotta hope that Valve always holds strong. Like honestly, like everyone needs to support. What are they coming out with Portal 3 now? Did they announced Portal 3, right? They're doing a 3 for one of them.
The fuck are you
They're
talking?
doing either Half-Life or Portal 3. I thought they announced it.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I thought I thought 3 was coming out.
There is no Portal 3 coming. out.
No,
No.
I thought I saw somewhere there. One of the like a 3 is one. They're doing a 3 of something.
And there is no Half-Life 3
Okay,
coming out.
maybe I was memed.
The closest thing that I believe we've gotten to Half-Life 3 is Half-Life Alex, which I heard was great. And
Okay,
there's also a mod to make it not VR. Because it's a
Ooh.
VR game, but there's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mod
yeah.
to make it not VR, so you
That's
don't
interesting.
need VR in order for you to actually play it. And like I said, I heard it's fantastic. It's
But
not
yeah.
Gordon, it's Alex. Who, I mean, still a good character, but it's not Gordon.
greatest
but it's-
actor ever.
I heard it's really fun. I hate you.
But-
she doesn't spell it that way.
But the bottom line is like right now, support Valve. Anytime they put anything new out, support the fuck out of them because they need to maintain enough money and strength where they do not want to sell. Okay, like support
Yes.
everything they are doing. Do not let them feel the need that they have to sell or they're losing anything. Because if Valve, I know Sony has been itching to buy Steam.
No, it's
they've been-
Microsoft.
Microsoft and Sony, I think they both put in
They're
bids
probably both.
to
yeah.
try and buy Steam. I think Microsoft put in a little more of a serious one. But if either of them get those clutches on it, it's fucked. You're going to lose all this stuff right now. The indie devs, they're not going to have the freedom. They're still going to be there. But kind of Steam, they don't care what game you make as long as it doesn't break any laws. And even then, it might slip under the cracks. Make your fucking game and people will buy it or people
It's just
won't
an
buy
Epstein Island game on Steam, which is hilarious.
it. There's definitely going to be a Love Island game now from Diddy. They're probably going to take the Epstein Island game and just fucking make it all Diddy like characters, like different rappers and shit like that. And like you'll like, oh god, they should just add Love Island to Epstein Island.
You could do that. 100% could do that. All right, last thing for gaming,
Which I'm
wise,
not like super interested in. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll do it anyway because people will be interested in this.
pretty sure it's the last thing gaming wise. But this is very quick. And it's something I enjoy. I like Rocky
Yeah.
Horror Picture Show.
I think it's one of the most overrated movies in the history of movies.
You could think that. That's fine.
But you finally watched it like last year, so you actually think.
But no, I've watched it before. I just hadn't watched it.
Is there a Tunnel Jew game?
That'd
That's
be hilarious.
amazing. If there
That'd
is
be
one on Steam,
incredible.
Dave, you need to go play it.
I'll go find it real quick after this. If there
Nate,
is.
if there is one, we absolutely need to play that. Maybe Dave will play it live one day.
but this is and it's also a side-scrolling platformer, so it could be a bunch of fun. I
Yeah.
just want to play the trailer real quick just to watch it. But yeah, there you go. And
I love that company
I like
made Monos game.
yes, I was gonna say I don't know if you saw that they
I
made a
did.
Monos game and I'll need to check out. But I like the chiptunes versions of the songs. I
Yeah.
think that was really fucking good. That
It looks
especially
it
that
does
one
look
time
good.
one. And it looks
does
like
look
it could just be a fun game to play.
Yeah, just looks
So-
like a fun side scroller.
And anytime I could bring out any type of fun game to play, I want to give it some kind of spotlight. Because I mean, if that's like $5 or $10, I think that's worth it, depending on how
100%.
long it is. Because it's really all it should be. $5 or $10, you get to play a nice side scroller that might piss you off a little bit.
Of course,
because-
it looks like
but-
it can be a pain in the ass with some of those obstacles. It's all
Exactly.
timing.
Exactly. But I think that's fun. Anytime you can get more good chiptune music,
Yes.
I also think that's awesome.
And shout out to Jackie Neiman Jones. She was one of our first guests
Yes,
on
I
the
actually
show.
want to. I'm gonna go find Monos real
Yeah,
quick.
she was one of our first guests on this show back when we were doing guests. Now, God, what has it been, Dave? 2 years at least? 3 years we've been doing the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 years we've been doing the show. So Jackie was one of our first guests, and she was the little girl in Mono's Hands of Fate. So that's fucking sweet. I would, we'd love to have maybe we can have Jackie come on, Dave, and you'll figure out a way to get her to play it. We'll make her play the game. She could play herself.
Well,
Congratulations, you played yourself
if you want, I have the trailer right here.
for Monos.
Yeah.
It's the same company. It's probably another side scroller.
Yeah, I'll show that real quick.
Let's do it because Monos Hands of Fate. If you what do you call it? Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's one of their biggest episodes. Was watching Monos.
Minute 10 seconds. I scrolled. I like placed through it a little bit. It looks like it's pretty fun.
Fantastic. And also,
and again, looks like a lot of fun. Also,
Jackie was in there right next to the dog.
Yes. I want to you show off real quick.
Let's see. Oh yeah, you got the
Hold up.
This needs to be shown. This is from Jackie, right?
Right there.
Jackie Neiman Jones. She signed it, and it's friggin' Zappa.
Zappa and the poodle as the master and the dog.
It's amazing.
Incredible artwork.
Nate, yes, I used to listen to Horse the Band. God, I was never.
I don't know about that, but it sounds awesome.
I wasn't a huge fan of Horse the Band. I thought they were okay. A lot of my friends liked Horse the Band more, but I used to listen to Horse the Band. That was back in high school for me. So, and
Mad Jack.
Have I seen Mullet Mad Jack? No, I've not seen Mullet Mad Jack. What is Mullet Mad Jack? Enlighten us, Squiggles. So, cool as fuck. Probably. What is it? Is that another side scroller, Dave?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that up. Well, no, it's not another side scroller. It's a boomer shooter. It looks like.
Okay, let's do it.
Might be wrong. It might not be a boomer shooter, but I just was looking at it.
Don't suck, Dave. You're a resident game nerd.
Well, I only saw like the gun. So
how long is this one?
134. We don't have to go through everything.
Watch the whole thing. We'll
okay, it already looks awesome. Yeah, boomer shooter.
Greetings from Peace Corps.
Okay, this looks fucking awesome.
You gotta find out how much this one is.
Sounds like you're in trouble.
It's fun, dude.
This looks funky.
You have 10 seconds.
Like the
Destroy
whole
these
aesthetic.
damn robots.
And the music, 80s,
Okay,
and
boss.
everything. This looks
Roger.
Oh, this looks fucking.
No one else is fooling you!
Squiggles, I think you made you're gonna make David buy every game.
Checkpoint!
Holy shit. Okay. And also, boomer shooter is the genre of games that are stylized in like old Doom, old Wolfenstein ways, where it's like certain field of
Boomers
vision.
played it like me.
Yes. It's a whole genre. I didn't know it was called boomer shooters before, but I found out when I played like Forgive Me Father and stuff like that, which is a fantastic game, by the way. And there's a Forgive Me Father 2, which you need to play. But yeah, that looks great. It's only $20. Honestly, for a game like that to be only $20 is awesome. I might have to get it at some point.
All right. So we're going to switch gears. We're going to get away from the nerd stuff and we are going to go to sports because Dave, I hate our team. The New York Jets are balls. All right, everyone. This isn't news to most of the world, but Dave, how do you go from the way they played 10 days ago to at your home stadium not being prepared for one of the worst teams in the NFL? With a quarterback that had not thrown a touchdown yet.
Yeah, no, it's on coaching. That's what it is. It's on coaching. And it's on really a lot of it starts and ends with the O-line and what they're doing.
And they
That's-
got Rodgers fucking crushed today.
That's basically what the issue is. It's on coaching and on the O-line, which is something that can be fixed. It's something that Aaron can fix.
Here's the crazy thing.
I'm not like, while this is a bad loss.
The sky isn't falling.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the crazy thing. We knew the Broncos were a blitz-heavy team. They were one of the biggest blitz-heavy teams. And the game plan was to have Aaron Rodgers hold the fucking ball or run right into the blitz.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make a plan around a 5-step drop? I get it. Patrick Surtain Jr. is over there.
Mm-hmm.
But Garrett Wilson needs to be a better fucking player and beat him. And beat him often.
Yeah.
But also,
And
you
Brees
saw
was off this game, and
Brees
we
didn't play well.
didn't switch to Braylon quick enough.
Nope.
It was an issue. Mainly, the issue was of coaching,
Mhm.
coaching in the line, and that was really it. And that's a big issue. It is, but it's not something that can't be corrected, especially when you have Aaron Rodgers. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm perfectly fine with handing the reins to Aaron Rodgers on basically damn near everything.
Because Nate
he's
Hackett fucking sucks.
but he's the guy that's going to know the most on how to get the team to be good.
So did you hear any of the press conferences after the game?
I saw some of the quotes. I didn't really listen.
So Saleh said, they talked about the penalties and things like that. The hard count are great in the hard count in practice. The cadence are a little they're hard count cadence. They've been doing good. Maybe they could look at some things with the cadence. And then Aaron Rodgers came after. Obviously, head coach comes first. And one of the guys asked and said, did you guys think about I
did see Rodgers said, "Oh, you could
hold
him accountable."
Holding him accountable, and that's the wild part to me. Why the fuck is Aaron Rodgers talking about holding him accountable? We've never heard Robert Saleh once talk about holding guys accountable.
And that's the biggest issue with Saleh. Saleh has not looked good as a head coach.
No.
He just hasn't looked good as a head coach. It just hasn't been there. And he needs to get there. He really needs to get there, because when it comes to whether you're going to win or lose is whether or not you are going to make guys feel it when they fuck up that much.
You don't listen, being respected is better than being liked, because you know what? If you win games, they'll end up liking you. Okay.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. Belichick obviously was a hard ass, but guys fucking love that man because they won football games.
Look, Brees, he's a number one, but if Brees is having a bad game, if he's messing up too much, Braylon's right behind him.
And
you
Braylon
know how
has shown that
Braylon
he's
can be.
more than serviceable. And here's something that drove me crazy, Dave. Outside of Aaron Rodgers ultimately finishing, 225, whatever, those sacks count against him, 5.4 yards average. That can't happen when you have Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not saying you have to drop 5-step drops to push it down the field. I'm saying that there needs to be a better scheme. Now, don't get me wrong. Rodgers didn't get help. There was a lot of drops. Garrett Wilson needs to get his head out of his fucking ass.
The chemistry is really off
It's
with him and Rodgers. And honestly, if it's not Lazard or Mike Williams, the chemistry is there for those
Conklin
two.
and Conklin.
Okay. And I'm talking about receivers. Conklin,
yeah.
But I'm just talking chemistry wise when it comes to
Corley, Gibson, Wilson. None of them look like they're on the same page.
Yeah.
And it's crazy too, because there was, one of the big plays at the end of the game is Rodgers stepped back, saw a little pocket between three people, threw it, and Wilson just kept running. I thought that ball was going to get picked. Yeah. I really did.
Which would have been a really good completion if it was Lazard doing that route. It's a really good completion.
It's a great he gets hands on and maybe he gets it jarred, but he's at least knowing it's coming there. And then also there's the other one, Xavier Gibson or Xavier Gibson. He missed. He again didn't look for the ball.
Yeah.
But it's also knowing the situation, right? If you're Garrett Wilson and you're running a go route, know where you are. It's late in the game. If you see any sort of air, look back.
Yeah. And the thing is, all of these things are very fixable.
Yes.
But you really need to fix them before you get to the Vikings.
And you're going to London. And
the
Darnold
Vikings look
today.
fucking good. Sam Darnold looks like he's on his shit.
Yep.
So You need to be ready for that because if you get blown out, then it's really bad. Even if you lose to the Vikings by a little bit, a streaking Vikings where Sam Darnold looks like the goddamn MVP of the league,
He does
people
right
might be disappointed,
Yeah.
but it's going to be like, okay, this is a really tough game. But then you have the Bills next. The Bills are the ones that you really don't want to lose.
because you
The
got to beat your division.
Exactly.
opponents.
The Vikings game is one you could drop if it's a tough game, if you look like you've really fixed the mistakes and you're just
Yep.
going against a good team.
Yep.
The Bills one is the one you can't drop. And I do want to say real quick, I do not think it is rigged, Squiggles. I do
No,
not think it's
NFL's
rigged,
not rigged. There's
but
too
I do
much-
think there are biases,
Yes.
obviously. But I don't think it's rigged, mainly because you don't. I don't think the NFL necessarily wants a whole bunch of New Yorkers to just commit life ending over the Jets and the Giants. So that's what's happening.
And here's the thing: it's obvious the Jets are a targeted team. They are a targeted team for penalties. The officials do not call their games correctly. And if you are just
I wouldn't say that was this game though.
no,
These
this
are
was
easy
all
calls.
self-inflicted wounds.
Those are
These were-
easy
they were
calls this
idiots.
game.
Yeah, they made it easy. But and especially with the the offsides, 5 offsides penalties in one game. That's just lack of focus, and that's bad coaching, like you said, Dave.
Yes.
It's on Salah because you know what, dude? The defense played fantastic. The defense played 10 points. You shouldn't lose a game when you give up 10 points.
And the craziest thing is, I don't think Olu Fashanu was any of the penalties of the offensive
Nope.
line, and that's our rook.
That's fine.
It was Tyron Smith, which is weird.
Tyron Smith it is crazy, and it's like, and he didn't play well either. Franklin Myers ate him the fuck up today, so it's crazy to see what happened.
AFC East is soft. It kind of is. I
is.
don't know how the Bills Ravens game is going right now, but I do think the Bills are playing over their head right now. I don't think people are necessarily used to Josh Allen not having to throw to Diggs, so they're really off of how they're
21-10, 4:56 left in the third. Ravens are leading.
Okay, good. We need the Ravens to win.
Yes.
But yeah, I do think the Bills are playing a little bit over where they are. I think Sean McDermott's a good coach, and that's why they're
Which
able to do
super
that.
did Peyton Manning throw? The one where they got absolutely dominated with the Broncos? Because if you're thinking that one,
No.
they did not throw that game. Absolutely not. Peyton Manning he wanted that. He fucking wanted that. Listen, there's some guys, I don't think you could pay Peyton Manning enough money to throw a football game like that
Yeah.
because he has enough money with endorsements and shit like that. He's not worried about making
Yeah.
money on the field.
But the good thing for the Jets is that, and like Nate said, AFC is soft. Bills haven't played anyone good yet. Is that there's a lot of parity in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of teams that we think are really good that are going to drop games like that, and that's it's just going to happen.
And we knew
So-
there was going to be kinks in the first quarter of the season.
Yes.
Now, if this doesn't get cleaned up by the second quarter, like if they don't play well against the Vikings and the same problems are here,
Yes.
then you need to clean house, including Joe Douglas. I'm sorry. Joe Douglas got to go. We know Rodgers is going to leave. If they suck this year, why is Rodgers going to stay? If they don't go and they're not a legitimate title contender, if they get to a chance, lose at like the AFC Championship or even in the divisional and they play tough, I think we might see Rodgers back in a Jets uniform next year. But if they
Well,
start playing like
well,
shit,
Well, wait, but if Rodgers leaves, then he's going to go to the Vikings, and then we'll get to the playoffs again because then history will repeat, and we'll be able to get to the playoffs again.
so you're telling me this leg injury is going to be something that he's going to now let linger. It's going to be worse than he lets on. And he's going to play all year and he's going to tank us.
Yes,
Because it's
it's like
exactly what
Favre.
fucking Favre
It's Big
did.
Favre, man. He's gonna go, but like I said, we'll be able to make the playoffs not too long after that.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's why I'm tired of being a Jets fan in some ways. We want the playoffs. We need to want championships.
Well, the thing, I'm just saying history-wise because we didn't get a championship in that. So I'm just saying history-wise, we'll be able to actually go.
How do I feel on betting on transies in female sports?
I don't think transients should be in female sports.
They're not
That's how
females,
I feel. about it.
therefore that there is no reason to bet on them.
Exactly.
in
They
female
shouldn't
sports,
be bet
they're-
on
they're
because they shouldn't
men.
be in there.
And they should be playing in men's sports. And if they're not good enough to play in men's sports, putting on a fucking wig and growing some tits does not allow you to go and take in those spaces. So, yeah. All right. So let's transition to more Jets debacles, which
I get it.
I think that this one isn't on the Jets. Hassan Reddick needs to be fined into oblivion. I know there's a lot of Jets fans that are saying, hey, let's just get rid of him. He's a headache. We don't want any more of a headache. Blah, 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 blah.
Well,
Do not give him what he wants.
The good business decision is to get rid of him.
Good business decision is to get rid of him. But Will McDonald
He said, but we can make so much money. Well, it's
Will
true.
McDonald
If you
is
bet on a
playing.
team.
Yeah, but you know what though, Squiggles, you're not going to make much money because whenever a trans athlete is competing against a biological female, especially in one-on-one sports, you will be paying them because the odds are so.
Yeah, it's true.
Vegas knows, or they don't let you bet. You'll see those trans fights; they don't let you bet.
Well, no, I cashed on that Taiwanese.
tranny.
Okay, Alex is wrong right there.
I'm wrong. I thought they were like doing. Damn.
I mean, look, if make your money, make your money on
Yeah.
it. If it's gonna be allowed, if they're gonna do it, make your money.
So, but yeah, with the
Yeah, but
Hassan
sorry, go
Reddick
ahead,
thing,
Reddick.
Hassan Reddick, I would sit on him. And if I'm Joe Douglas, because you
Bet
fucking
you would, you freak.
sit on it, Potsy. You fucking lied to me. Because you know something, here's the thing. If this was any other team besides the Eagles, I think maybe Joe Douglas got bamboozled. Okay. But the fact that he's still friends with the GM, he's friends with Howie. Howie trained Joe Douglas. I know they're competing, but I do not think Howie would try to fuck Joe Douglas in this type of way.
Mhm.
I thought he's sitting there going, hey, Bryson a pick, that's good value. Hassan's a great guy. You can get, if he says he's going to play for you and then sign in the offseason, we're good. This is a good deal. I don't think he was trying to screw Joe Douglas.
No.
Now, Hassan Reddick's a piece of shit, and I don't want to see him in Jet Green. Honestly, I don't care if he comes out this next week and then gets 20 sacks. He could fuck off because he's an asshole. I don't care. For me, if I'm Joe Douglas, I am FaceTiming him every day, going cha-ching and hanging up. I'm not trying to negotiate with him.
I don't
going to
know if
find
he
him.
came in with this asking price or if he changed his
He
mind.
changed. He did a press conference where
Yeah.
he was like, "I'm all in. I'm ready."
No,
to
no,
go."
I'm just saying, like, if he lied about it, or if he actually, or he actually changed it after something.
That's lying, though. Because if you say, I don't care if
No,
you change your mind, but if you said, I will play this
No,
year,
I know that.
and then
No,
you change your mind,
yeah.
then it's still a lie.
I know it's still a lie, but it's a different lie. I'm just saying I don't know if he necessarily came in with bad intentions in the first place. That's what I'm saying.
But then you're stupid, okay? Because then
No,
you're an idiot, and you deserve everything you get. I want the Jets to hold on to him for the next 2 years because he has this year and another year under his belt. I want them to make this man lose upwards of $10 million. And I hope that it hurts, I hope he put enough money away to take care of his family. I hope it hurts him and that he can't do anything luxury that he wants to do. I hope all of his fun gets sucked out of his life and every single dollar goes like a common person. He has to put it towards his fucking kids and his family. And he can't see anything of it because he is an asshole. Okay? I mean, you're just a shit person. And I hope that we get some players that break off that dumb fucking line of, oh, he has to get his bag. No, that's a dude. That is a guy that decided he didn't want to become your brother because he's a liar. So fuck that guy. That's my Hassan Reddick fan. I hope he goes into bankruptcy over this.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I don't know what the hell's going to happen with this. He's not budging, so the Jets aren't going to budge.
Good.
Joe Douglas he's very stringent on how he does things, so he's not going to budge. And it's just honestly, we'll probably hold him for the year. We will hold him for the year. I could see that happening because I don't know if anyone's going to. $5
million in fines if he's for the year.
Well, I don't know if anyone's going to trade for him. So we're going to hold him for the year, most likely. That
hold him for
I
2
think
years.
that's what's going to happen. I don't think
Hold
we're
him
going to
for
hold him
2 years, and every day. Honestly,
Yeah.
if I'm Joe Douglas at this point, I'm calling him up and saying, take the vet minimum.
Joe
No,
Douglas needs
bye.
value.
Take the vet minimum.
Joe Douglas wants value. So he wants to look, he's on the hot seat. He needs to make the team good. He can't be doing that.
He's probably going to be fired after this year anyway. But I would call him every day and say, I'm offering you the veteran minimum. Bye. Take the vet minimum or stay the fuck home. I wouldn't pay this guy a dime. I would, and I hope the next team he goes to is a terrible team.
You did the Patriot way.
The
The
Patriots.
Patriot, or the Bill Belichick way, where if someone's being annoying, someone's pissing you off. Well, yeah, not anymore. The Browns aren't great, but it's mainly an offensive problem.
Who's the worst team in the NFL right now? Well, it was the Broncos until we made them look like a functioning team.
No, it
Kind
wasn't the
They still
Broncos.
had 60 yards.
It was
60
the
yards.
Panthers.
Oh,
But they look better with Andy Dalton.
They did look better.
Titans, because Will Levis won't get out of his own way.
Him and his mayonnaise.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a bunch of bad teams, honestly. But yeah, no, you just send them to a bad team.
Send them to a bad. I would.
That's not a bad thing to do because they're still getting paid by that bad team. So who cares?
Nope. Hold him and fine him. Hold him and fine him.
It's not gonna happen.
And then
no, it's not gonna happen.
Hold him until the trade deadline next year and then trade him so you can get every fucking fine out of him as possible. And make sure he's out of shape. Offer him nothing. The facilities, and he cannot go anywhere near the facility. He cannot use any of the trainers. He gets no nutrition plan. He needs to spend all of his own fucking money on that and give him nothing and make this man financially suffer. He deserves nothing better. And if he comes back, I don't know if I root for him. I don't care if he does well. I don't like
Okay.
I do not like Hassan Reddick. He can win us a fucking Super Bowl on a strip sack. I will say give the rings back. That guy's not a Jet.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll do that.
He's terrible.
I don't know if I would do that, to be quite honest with you.
would.
I would enjoy a Super Bowl, actually.
If he has nothing to do with it, fantastic. If he has something to do with it, there's an asterisk for asshole. No. I would take Ray Lewis killing a guy and Ben Roethlisberger raping people on my team over this guy now. Roethlisberger's a rapist, and Ray Lewis killed the guy, and I want both of them. Over
Okay, all right.
I don't like Hassan Reddick.
No, really?
The guy
I couldn't tell.
The guy could fucking murder me. I'm just one of those guys yelling on a screen. He'd hear this. He would bed me like a pretzel. He would kill me. But yeah, no. You're fucking with one of my favorite teams who suck as it is. God damn it. Anyway, let's keep it in sports. Because another annoyance, predictably, Bama is now number 1 in the land. They almost gave the game away to Georgia. They had a dominant win on their hands. They allowed Georgia to take the lead. And then they won, and they still become number 1. Let's look at this AP top 10 because for me,
I was gonna say, to be completely fair,
this is throat goating the SEC. All this is, it's throat goating the SEC.
I mean,
the SEC is not that good. They are.
I
Not
don't
the best
think it's
conference in the league.
I don't think it's a necessarily terrible argument to have Bama 1. I don't think it really is a bad argument to have them number 1.
Texas is a better football team.
Well, the AFCA coaches poll does have Texas at 1 and Bama at 2, but that's the thing. They have Bama at 2. So it's what,
And that's too high.
is it?
Yes. Okay, listen.
They were at number 4.
I would not have argued if Georgia stayed, like maybe got a touchdown or two, but it never got close.
Yeah, but you expect Georgia to get
Georgia
back into the
took-
game.
They got back in. They took the fucking lead. Okay. That just tells me that Alabama is not the best team in the country. Because what you're telling me is Georgia is actually the second best team. If that's how highly you think of them, then you're really telling me that Georgia and Alabama are the 2 best teams. And by everyone else's metric now, Georgia isn't. Bama being in the top 3, fuck with that because Georgia's reigning national champions. They were number 2. Okay, cool. They're not the best team in the land. You
I don't
almost gave
think
it
it's-
away. You didn't win convincingly.
I don't think it's a terrible argument. I really don't. They
It's
were
just-
top 4. They were top 4 coming into this.
It's just predictable and it's tedious. The SEC throat goating that goes on because you know something, the SEC East is the worst division in college football. Okay, they get cakewalks. The West
but
is hard. The East sucks.
Well, the thing is, though, is like
The East hasn't been
arguing.
good in like 20 years.
The issue is arguing over these rankings doesn't fucking matter anymore. It really doesn't. The lower ones do. Arguing over the top ones don't matter that much anymore.
It's
They don't.
annoying though because what they're going to do is they are going to stack the top 12 with SEC and Big Ten. And you know, Big Ten gets way too much over rankings as well. There's other good teams that could be there. So it is going to be tedious. Like right now, like Tennessee looks good. Tennessee's Tennessee. They're going to lose. They're going to lose when it matters. They have Tennessee. That is their history. Let's look at this. Bama 1, Texas 2. Texas is doing this with a backup. Again, I get it. He's Arch Manning. We know who he
It
is.
is Arch Manning.
But
Come
you
on, it
lost
is.
probably the shoe-in Heisman guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to win the Heisman. I still think if he comes back and plays the way he can, he probably is going to put himself up there.
I will say this: when big college teams have a starter that gets injured, even if the starter is like Quinn Ewers,
Yeah.
Heisman candidate already, most of the time they have a backup that's damn near the skill level.
Unless you're Florida State.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying, like,
Fuck you.
most of the fucking time, any of these big teams that lose a starter, they have a backup that's fine. Like when Jalen Hurts
It all
got
depends
injured
on the
for
team.
Bama against Georgia, fucking Tua comes in. Are you kidding me? Like, it didn't matter. None of it mattered.
It does depend on the team because some of
de-
them have
it
quarterbacks
depends.
factories, and you can have
Yes.
Michigan, who
Yeah, but it depends
has
on the
had one
team.
quarterback in.
Yeah,
years.
it depends on the team, but a lot of them just have that. And the thing is, Michigan, they don't care about the quarterback that much, it seems, because they have
really don't.
Donovan Edwards and Khalil something. What's his name?
Yeah,
But either way, but they have
Khalil
two dominant running backs.
they do.
That's how they want to play. So
You got to have your, but Michigan's doomed because you got to have your quarterback be able to make a few throws, and they try to
Yes.
make sure this
Yes.
quarterback doesn't throw ever.
yes.
It's like basically Michigan has become Army, but just really
Hey.
a lot better.
Hey, Army's having a great year, all right?
Army's having a great year, but Michigan has quite literally become Army. you try to make your quarterback throw as little as possible, and if I'm a Michigan wide receiver, I'm transferring. Like, why am I there?
yeah, well, yeah.
I'm not
But
going to the league with this asshole. At least with DJ McCarthy, we could pretend he was good. Like,
third string Texas QB Malik Murphy is 5-star and has Duke undefeated.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming in, even if you are 5-star, depending on environment, you could be a little rattled. Some of these stadiums are huge, and
that's
that
another
intensity
good win.
meter is a thing. But most of them have these huge QBs that are really good at what they do. And even if it's a drive where they have to get used to it first, they usually get into the game and they're fine.
And that's another good win for Duke over UNC. And like I was saying to my brother-in-law this weekend, it's pretty crazy just how both of those schools are basketball schools, but they've turned their football programs into respectable programs.
Yes.
And now like
Duke
Duke
win
is one
any
better-
game.
They're
for
both
the most part.
both teams are two of the better teams in the ACC. Now, obviously, the ACC is going through Miami this year, but those two are going to have something to say about it. They're going to battle. They're not going to beat Miami, even though Miami did lose to.
I was going to
Virginia Tech.
say,
They lost. They lost.
Miami's very beatable.
And here's why they lost. Was it a catch initially? No. The right call is incomplete there. But they called it a touchdown and there wasn't enough evidence to turn it over. Virginia Tech wins that game. Miami doesn't belong where they are. They should have dropped. But I digress on
They
that.
did
And also,
drop one.
I wanted Virginia Tech to
did
win because
knock
I would
them.
have helped Rutgers out. But so we're going to keep going real quick. So Bama 1, Texas 2, Ohio State 3, Tennessee 4, Georgia drops to 5. Oregon 6, hanging around.
Mhm.
And Oregon is now, are they in the SEC now? We're the SEC. I think, are they SEC? They're
No.
SEC or
Big
Big Ten?
Big Ten. Big Ten.
They're Big Ten as well.
Mhm.
I can't fucking keep track anymore.
Yeah, I know. I
Um,
thank you for. Yeah, Texas is SEC. That's what I was thinking.
Texas SEC.
Yeah.
Penn State.
I
is
couldn't
up
remember
there.
everyone that moved, but I was thinking in my
It's
head, I was like, didn't Texas? go?
Crazy. Miami's there. Missouri at 9. Missouri plays ugly football, but they're at 9. Michigan, Army at 10. USC and Ole Miss would round out the playoff right now, I guess. You would have to look, the conference champions and things like that would be in play. But that would technically be your playoff teams there outside of the other conference champions there.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. LSU on the outside there. Notre Dame is going to climb their way in and then get blown out in the first game. They always do.
I don't know if they're
Clemson-
going to climb their way in. I don't like the way Notre Dame looks this year. I think they're
You
going to
don't
get
have-
another couple losses.
You don't have to like the way they look. Their name is Notre Dame. And again, they gawk the SEC. They gawk Notre Dame. Okay. Notre Dame, everyone's like, we can't have a big playoff. The little teams will get blown out. And then Notre Dame, whenever they get to a national championship, gets fucking blown out like they're Air Force playing people. Okay. Like, I am so tired of this. They might get blown out argument. Every fucking national championship we see Notre Dame get blown out, they've gotten into in modern times. So let's keep going there. Clemson, meh. Iowa State's pretty good. BYU and Utah are having a good year. Oklahoma's not your daddy's Oklahoma, but still decent. K-State had a good win. Boise State is there at 21.
Ashton JT, oh my goodness, Boise State.
Um,
Oh my god, yeah, Nate just said it. I didn't even look. Yeah, he's insane. They're not like. I hope they make the playoffs just because I want to see Ashton JT run into playoffs. He might get
Agreed.
stopped, but he's gonna break
It's
one
good.
big one most likely.
Louisville's there, Indiana and Illinois are there, which is exciting. Listen, the Big Ten and SEC are obviously cleaning up. UNLV and Texas A&M both tied for 25th, which is rare. You rarely see a tie. And UNLV doing this without Superfly Jimmy Snuka as their quarterback. So Oklahoma State dropped out. Obviously, they've lost 2 weeks in a row to 2 ranked opponents. And then others receiving votes. There's our Rutgers Scarlet Knights with 7 votes. I mean, they have a tough one. They're playing Nebraska, who was up in the top 25 for the past few weeks. They dropped out last week, but they were in there. And if
Colorado got a vote,
big, why? Colorado is the most overrated. Their defense is awful. They have the worst defense in college football. Travis Hunter special. Shedeur Sanders is a bona fide, probably number 1 pick. He's a freak. But it's like, and the thing is though, hard for Shedeur Sanders not to be good when you have Hunter, Joe Horn Jr., Shepard there. You have 3 guys that are number 1 on every other team.
His accuracy is fucking crazy.
It's amazing.
He's genuine.
Shout out to Prime though. He got his son a line. That O-line is much improved this year. Shadeur's athleticism helps.
Army got 2.
Yeah. He doesn't have to stand there and automatically plant his foot and run for his life. He can plant and read. And now that you're watching Shedeur read, it's getting even more special because he's playing really well. I think Shedeur is going to be a special pro. And I like Shiloh. I think Shiloh is developing into a nice corner. But their front 7 is absolutely terrible on defense. They're skill guys. Their shell, their DBs are pretty good. But they are getting pushed around in every which way. You can run all over them. I mean, if it wasn't for their offense, UCF's a better team. So it's pretty crazy. So
Colorado picked up a quality win against UCF, but Baylor had an all-time choke job.
They did.
Accurate.
They
did. But hey, you got to look, 4-1, that's much better than last year. Well, they tied their wins from last year. Look, Colorado needs to see an upward trend from Deion because he could say a lot. But if you're not winning, that's not useful to the program.
Who's Colorado? Oh, listen, Deion, here's the thing. He was never staying past Shiloh graduating, if we're being quite honest. Okay, State's next. That's a big one.
Dude, that's a huge one.
That's a huge game.
ESPN's going to be all over that one.
ESPN's going to be all over that.
And if they win,
if they find a way to beat a very good K-State team, I'll give them more respect. Because that means their defense did something that game, right?
Yeah.
They're going to do the New Orleans Saints championship style bend not break type of defense. Like, make plays when it matters. That's okay.
You get some opportunistic turnovers. You don't have to be an incredible defense. You just have to do enough.
Let's look at, we're falling into Colorado schedule.
Yeah, I know. Now we're looking at that.
And here's the thing. The loss came to a good Nebraska team. So that's their one. Baylor should have beaten them. UCF's a good team. Nebraska is a really good team. So they're facing another good team in K-State. Arizona, Cincy, Texas Tech, Utah's a huge challenge. Kansas and OK State. Kansas State and Utah are the 2 big challenges here. There's a lot of winnable games on this schedule right now. Kansas is decent. Colorado should have a much better season. They're not a playoff team. Huh?
And Zona's
okay. Zona's scrappy.
Good.
They're scrappy. But I think Colorado's probably better than Zona.
Well, we'll see. That's a special part about college sports is that damn near any given Saturday, things could happen. And it's even more than the NFL.
Yeah,
you never know exactly what's going to happen. And it makes it really fun to watch certain teams do certain things.
I will say that might be the only fun part about the conference realignment is now you're seeing so many major teams play against each other. So it's not the question of who's better than who at times because now USC is having a good year. We're not going to have to wait to possibly see them play in a bowl game against Ohio State or Michigan or Penn State. We'll see that because they're conference foes. And the SEC, again, Texas has got to prove it now. They got to go through Alabama. Go through.
Like you said, Georgia has Texas in 2 weeks. Huge game.
A great game.
Huge game.
So there is a benefit, as annoying as it is, that basically it's Big Ten, SEC, and everybody else. Like there's a power 4, but there's really a power 2. Okay. Arizona does have the best wide receiver in the nation. That is correct. But it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes up. And the criticism is going to be major regardless with this group of, playoffs, because like Dave said, you have your automatic 6, right? Automatic 5 or 6? 6. I think it's the top 6 conference champions.
I don't remember.
So it's your power 4 and then the next 2 best conference champions by ranking. and then it's the next 6 best ranked teams. So you're guaranteed you're gonna get your next best 5 are gonna have some representation there, which is nice.
Yeah.
Is nice.
12 participating teams with the 5 conference champions ranked highest by the CFP
5
selection committee,
Okay.
plus the next 7 highest ranked teams.
So what you're gonna see is that 5th one is going to be that next group, that group of 5 underneath conferences is going to be your AAC. It's going to be your, that group, your Mountain West. The top ranked from that grouping will then get in. And then it's going to be the next 7 are going to be more Power 4 schools. So it's going to be good though. I actually am pumped for this 12-team playoff because I think it's actually going to be fun. So that's going into that. So Dave, do we want to stay sports for 1 second? We'll stay with we'll do Karl-Anthony Towns real quick.
Yeah.
All right. We'll touch on everything tonight, Dave. We got a few minutes here. We're at 1:35. We're good here. So let's talk New York Knicks laying the Karl-Anthony Towns. I have seen mixed.
Oh, Jesus Christ. 35-10 for Baltimore right now. Sorry, go ahead.
Good. Hey, Lamar's getting me fantasy points. I have seen mixed reactions for this from Knicks fans. Now I will go on record and say, and Knicks fans are going to be mad at me for this, they are some of the least knowledgeable basketball fans in all of basketball. They are told they know basketball from a young age because they play at the Mecca, and I'm going to be called like a sour Nets fan, but Knicks fans
said it like Dr. Evil says things.
Mecca.
Yeah.
Knicks fans know shit about shit, right? Because 3 years ago, Knicks fans, some people I talk to deny this, and they're liars. Everybody was saying, oh, Jalen Brunson, he's a good player, but they pay too much. They pay too much. They pay too much. And I was the one going, you dumbasses, you need a Jalen Brunson because he's going to get you to the playoffs. And when you get to the playoffs, it's going to make superstars want to come to you. It was the D'Angelo Russell plan. Now, no one, I think, predicted that Brunson was going to be what he's become. And that's really good for the Knicks that he's a bona fide superstar.
Mhm.
I can say that now, 2 years of doing what he's done, he's a superstar. But that at the time, almost every Knicks fan to a T was like, I like him, but we overpaid. I like him, but we overpaid. And just shows that they're a bunch of hats. And now when it comes to this, again, I have seen a very similar reaction from Knicks fans who actually don't know shit about basketball. Okay? You're a moron if you don't like this trade because you gave up Dante DiVincenzo, which is not even going to be your 6th man. I don't even think he was good enough to be a 6th man. He's a good player. They wanted this Nova Knicks thing. I'm sorry, Nova Knicks was going to get you bounced because you were not better than the Celtics with the Nova Knicks, and you probably are not better than a full-powered Sixers, okay? Because Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey were leagues better than Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle as a 2v2, okay? That is not even a question. And, Jaylen Brown, the NBA Finals MVP, and Jason Tatum was an MVP candidate every year. Like, with Porzingis, like, get out of here. You guys had no shot. You get rid of Randall, who was hurt and took a lot of shots away and was fucking a terrible shooter at times. And then get rid of DiVincenzo. It is what it is. And you bring in a Karl-Anthony Towns, who is a legitimate superstar in the NBA. One of the top 5 best power forwards in the game. A really expanded game, can shoot threes, can dribble, can do a little bit of everything. And now you take the load off of Brunson. Because, Dave, what did we see last year in the playoffs? If Brunson wasn't dropping 35 or 40, they didn't do shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think a lot of reasons why the Knicks fans don't like this is because they have a solid identity. Knicks have a really solid identity of the grit team. You're not going to like playing us. And that's why we're going to win, because we're just going to frustrate the hell out of you, and we're going to pull it off, and you're going to be mad as hell, and and then you'll win the series that way. And I love that. That identity is fun. That identity is a really fun identity to get behind.
It's a great identity.
And it can win you a lot. But when you're going up against teams like the Celtics and how they're built right now, you're going to need that star-studded team. And I do feel like that Mikal Bridges has kind of been forgotten about. The fact that they picked them up, I know we don't like that it happened, but the fact that they got him, he's being forgotten about, but he brings a lot to the Knicks team. And then you bring Cat for a lot of your front court needs.
Yep.
And like,
That's a
I think
nice
this
team.
is fine. I think this is the step
And
that
forget-
you do need.
We're forgetting OG Anunoby, Dave.
Yes. Oh my goodness. But that's the thing.
Like-
This is the step you do need as a
Yes.
team in order to compete with the Celtics, because the Celtics
Mhm.
are a goddamn monster of a team.
They are. And even the Sixers. We cannot forget about the Sixers.
Yes, but
Because Embiid healthy is a different
yes, but that's Embiid healthy.
Yeah.
When is that necessarily a thing? And
Agreed.
the Celtics proved it. The Sixers haven't. That's the thing.
That's true.
So you feel like you have a chance against the Sixers no matter what, because they haven't been able to prove it. And
Mhm.
Embiid's always hurt. The Celtics are just plain scary.
And here's the thing. Mikal Bridges is in a good situation. And I don't dislike most players that leave my teams. You know that. I actually root for most of them.
Mhm.
I want Mikal Bridges to have a season-ending injury. I fucking hate that guy.
Well, no,
No,
not
it's not
that.
better.
Not
No,
that.
you want to know why? Because he's a pussy.
Not that.
He's a
That's fucked
fucking
up. That's
pussy.
fucked up.
I don't care. I do not care. There are some players. The fact that Mikal Bridges is such a pussy that he couldn't handle the fact that he
Maybe he
played
has a
bad,
foot fungus
and
that
he
won't go
got
away, and that's why he
criticism.
can't play.
or you know what? Actually, I take it back. I hope he has bad fish on every single game and
There
has
you
to
go.
throw up and can't play.
That's a bit better.
And has a
Because that
season-
season
has-
ending injury a little fucked up,
Fuck
dude.
that. I hate that. This guy. Here's the thing. If you leave, like I was not mad at Kyrie, KD, or Harden. Okay,
Mhm.
Harden got fucked over. He was not expecting to play with 4 rookies for like 4 games in a row. He didn't want to be the guy. Kyrie got fucking mistreated by the front office, and KD wanted to stay. And it was kind of like Marks was like, we got to blow this up. We're not, that's fine. And it is what it is. Mikal Bridges went on a few podcasts, played like shit, got deserved criticism, and then decided to bitch out. I'm sorry, you get no respect for me. You're soft. And now he's in a perfect spot because no one's going to count on him. Okay. Well, he proved he can't be the guy. He's soft as shit. But what he can be is he can go back to being the Suns' Mikal Bridges, where every once in a while he pops up and scores 30. And it's like, hey, this guy could be really good. And then he goes back to fucking disappearing and nobody cares about him because he's going to have OG to pick it up because OG's consistent. He fills up the stats. Brunson's going to be Brunson. Cat's going to be Cat. And even Josh Hart's going to play better than him. So Mikal Bridges may end up being a sixth man. Fuck that guy. But to your point, they have a good front.
They have a good
line.
roster. They have a good roster.
And they don't have to count on Mitchell Robinson to be a starting center right now, which is
Yes.
huge.
Yes.
Mitchell Robinson's not a starting
You
center.
could play a technically smaller 5 with Cat at the 5 or something in that.
6'10" Cat at the 5 is it?
Yeah.
And that's big enough to
It's-
be a center right now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, but it's still technically a smaller 5.
technically a smaller 5, and they'll kill people with athleticism in this way.
Yes.
Because that's a really athletic group. The one thing I will say about Mikal is he's an all-world defender. He might be a fucking pussy, but he's an all-world defender. So listen, athletes that aren't mentally tough drive me crazy. Okay, because how do you get to where you are if you are a mental midget? I don't understand. But all right, so Dave, let's talk about hot girls in the right.
Okay. This is an article that actually came out today.
Oh, let me get rid of mine.
I have to
Yeah,
burp.
that'd be friendly. Oh, I'm there.
How hot girls became the right's new obsession. This is an article rife with old-timey feminism. The feminism that we saw that pushed that jump-started Gamergate, all of that stuff. So I really don't need to read a lot about it. They talk about Sydney Sweeney's cleavage, which is always nice. And they talk about how, oh man, the conservative right wing is embracing hot women in order to get people in there so they can look like they're cool because it's made up of largely older white males, which
Yes,
technically
we do
true.
like
You
hot
okay with your camera over there?
We do like hot women.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Seth Weathers, for Conservative Dad's calendar. We appreciate you. Yes, we do like hot women because we actually like biological women as well.
But
That
it,
has
it comes with some of my favorite feminist stuff where they always say the most ridiculous things about women being pretty and people enjoying it. Like
helped.
women have been.
Have you seen the article saying Sydney Sweeney's boobs aren't that big?
Yes, I did see that. Women have been positioned through the lens of the masculinist imagery and conservative populist politics for a long time, as in guys like hot women. Because this is a lot of what they're saying is just natural things. Like guys enjoying the view of good-looking women is nothing new. It's just something that a lot of feminist language tries to make as big as possible, give it as many big words as they can.
And
so
most
it
of these
sounds,
feminists writing this are ugly lesbians too. So it's like they wouldn't even get a second look.
yes, but it's
Jealousy.
meant
It's all envy and jealousy.
yeah, it's meant to sound as intelligent as they could possibly make it, so they can sound like they're really critiquing the
They have
patriarchy.
the IQ of a squirrel.
Exactly. And they're really getting against the men that are just perverted, and all they do is look at women through the male gaze, and they don't actually appreciate them for who they are. Even
Oh, David's a
though
robot.
women like Sydney robot.
You just, I think you're back. There you go. You're not
Okay.
a robot anymore.
Okay. Thank you. But even though women like Sydney Sweeney understand what they could do to propel themselves in every single way, and they have a God-given a beauty that they could use in order to become successful, be able to give things to their family, have wealth.
Here's the thing. When you're anyone in their position in Hollywood, and this goes with guys and girls, you're only good looking for so long because you're only young for so long.
And
So where Sydney Sweeney
love
is
this shit.
taking advantage of it, and she's like, hey, everyone thinks I'm hot. Everyone to see me naked. They want to continue to see me naked in movies. I'm
Yeah.
going to give it to them.
Yeah.
And she's taking advantage of it.
And the thing is that when people do not have the ability to do the things like Sydney Sweeney can do, where she doesn't have to be the greatest actress in the world, she just kind of has to look good, and then she can make money, whether or not it's conservatives or whatever. She
Yeah.
just has to look good. People get very jealous about that.
Yeah. It's all jealous.
It's funny. It's not only women that get jealous about that. A lot of guys get jealous about that too.
Yeah, I don't
and they
understand
just
it.
frame it in a different tone, and they
Yes.
frame it in a different way. But a lot of the feminist theory about this shit is jealousy of the fact that they can't have that type of quote unquote privilege
Yes.
of being good looking enough to be able to use it and further yourself in any kind of circle.
And the thing is, too, it's like, in theory, these feminists should be celebrating Sydney Sweeney because they love people that love their body and they're comfortable in their body and nudity and things like that. And Sydney Sweeney's all those things. She embraces herself. She knows where her talents lie, right? Like, she's not the greatest actress in the world. She's not a terrible actress. She's serviceable, but she has big boobs. She has a nice body. And if she's asked to go nude in a scene, she's willing to do it, right? So it's like she knows where she is in all of this. And the thing is, it's too, and it's another jealousy thing, is a lot of hot women are married in this conservative space. And they are married to successful guys that take care of them because they believe in a marriage as sanctity and they believe in the traditionalism. And guess what? They're probably enjoying themselves because they get to go home and they have somebody who respects them, who wants to take care of them, wants to protect them. And in turn, it's not a one-way street. They want to do the same for their husband. And that's the thing where these feminists get it all wrong. Intentionally, they get it wrong because they want to make impressionable, weak-minded women feel the same way that they do, that are jealous and think that they can't have these things. When in reality, we need to be empowering young ladies and saying, hey, you absolutely can have these things. There is a guy out there that will fall in love with you, that will want to take care of you. And as long as you have these standards and the wherewithal to sort through them, and don't get me wrong, there's assholes, but for the most part, this is something that used to be an ideal. Find a guy, find a good guy, get married, have kids together, work hard together, build a life. That's it. And it's now something that, since the second wave feminism, and all feminism's, becoming bad at this fucking point, but second wave feminism has really started that movement of fuck guys, and it's terrible.
Yes, and I will say, because we don't even need this anymore, it's just a lot of feminist gobbledygook. But then I will say, to add to that, a lot of their theory, like you said, we should be telling people in general that there is someone out there that is most likely going to love you. You're going to be able to have a family.
Messaging shouldn't be flowery, but it should be positive.
The thing is that's not what they want. The whole messaging of a lot of feminism nowadays is basically isolating yourself and not actually having someone that close to you in any type of romantic way, and it's hurting both men and women, and we could see that in how dating is nowadays.
And it's also based off Marxist theology.
Yes,
right now, so in Marxist theology is the us versus them conflict theory as its base, the You know, the whatchamacallit, I'm blanking on it, but James Lindsay talks about it all the time. And the bottom line is it's based off that type of theory where there is no God because they're all a bunch of atheists, and it's us versus them. They take the what the fuck is it called? What is he talking? The thesis, thesis, antithesis, and then they make the synthesis.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and that's what they're looking to do with everything. So real quick, Squiggles McJr., I want to get to what you were saying over here. Have we heard about Sydney Watson? Yes, actually, Dave and I were big fans of You Were Here. With him and with her and Elijah Schaefer. Here's my thing. I do not know where that is. I haven't heard anything about the legalese of what's going on there.
I stopped caring about all that stuff.
I stopped caring about it.
I stopped following them. I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
You know,
it's getting too bullshitty for me.
I don't mind Elijah. I still follow Elijah on X. Elijah also got fired from the Blaze allegedly for groping Sarah Gonzalez.
Yeah,
and that's what I've heard. I don't know how true it is. I don't know. And, you know, and again, I have nothing against Elijah. I don't know how true any of this is. But I'm not going to sit there and because Sydney Watson has still been in the space. I haven't seen much from Sydney being a uber feminist. The wording that she used in the, you know, in the lawsuit was incredibly feminist. You know, maybe that was her lawyer's discretion, but it did have bad looks and bad vibes to it in terms of the way it was written. But she's remained in conservative space. She's still pretty fucking based. I mean, Jeremy in the Quartering, she's with him. So again, I got nothing against either of them. I thought You Were Here was a really fucking entertaining show. I'm kind of sad that it went the way it did because it was an awesome show. So that's really all I got to say when it comes to that. Dave, do you have anything else? You heard she was a plant? Nah, no. I don't think Sydney was a plant.
Do you guys know MGTOW? Yeah, men going their own way. I don't love it. I get the sentiment of like, well, if I'm not going to be wanted here, then whatever. But for me, that's not exactly what
you don't do. Incel.
But no, it's not even about incel because it's not about because incel is complaining about it
of women and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, no.
What was not,
no. It's about just basically doing your own thing. It's not about any hatred. It's just literally doing your own thing and not even like trying. But it is putting yourself into a place where you might not even want to be.
Yeah.
Because look, if you want something, there's going to be suffering with it.
Of course, always.
So that's my issue with it. I get the sentiment of it because really it's not like, at least from the statement itself, Jesus Christ, I can't remember the word. But from what it is, men going their own way and stuff like that, from the little bits I've heard, it's not something of hatred. It's mainly like, okay, I guess.
I was talking about incel, not MGTOW.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. It's very different things.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, whatever. I'll just go build myself and whatever. It doesn't matter to me anymore.
And here's the biggest issue with MGTOW is men and women need each other. You need we work together. We need each other. So more men going their own way
doesn't help.
It doesn't help in any way.
Like I said, I get the sentiment.
I agree.
It's a completely understandable sentiment.
If we're unwanted, toxic masculinity is a bad thing. Fuck off. I'm going to go be masculine somewhere else. I get that. Exactly. I understand that.
Yeah.
But keep fighting. Keep trying.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Keep trying. Listen, dating was never easy. Getting a girl was never easy. Now, it is harder now because if you try like you used to, you're called a creep. People put you on blast on the internet. I get it. It's hard. It is fucking hard. But guys can't give up.
And we're only supposed to like hairy, smelly women with bad hair. That is true. That is true.
With pink hair, with blue hair. Ew. All right.
Not like her place, but she's like trying to use her. Well, a lot of women try to use her looks to get a male audience. I don't disagree with even doing that, to be quite honest with you. If you do it under false pretenses, yeah, that's bad. I don't think Sydney necessarily did that. I don't because I really haven't seen her flip in a kind of way. Like Alex said, her language in a lawsuit wasn't great. But honestly, if you want to win a lawsuit nowadays, your lawyer is probably going to write it.
That was probably the lawyer writing it as legally isn't that way. Like I said, it's interesting. She was suing the Blaze, not Elijah.
Yes. And I don't follow her enough, so maybe I'm missing things. But I don't think she's something. I don't think she's necessarily terrible. I'm fine with Sydney Watson.
Yeah, I have no problem with Sydney, and like Sydney doesn't like lean into the sexuality a ton. She's a decent looking woman, and on Instagram, like she'll always do she'll post like maybe like a pose photo or two. Usually, she's not like half naked or anything. She's just smiling.
Yeah.
And then she always ends it with a derp face. Like she has that type of personality to her
Mhm.
where, I'm not simping for Sid. I think Sid is just fine. Like I said, she's a decent looking woman. I think I don't always agree with all of her stuff, but she has pretty good takes. She seems fairly based. And I just think it ended up being a bad working relationship. She didn't,
Yeah.
I don't think she knew enough about Elijah and the way it was going to go.
Yeah.
And
Probably.
they were doing a fun to take away Sydney's rights. Like it was fucking hilarious. But I don't think that she
Forgot
wanted, and there was
ridiculous it was.
there was a whole fun to take away Sydney's rights. And I mean, she just didn't like the way it ended up being, and that's fine. And I wish she wasn't suing the Blaze over it. Because I personally like the Blaze. I think the Blaze is actually a really good space because they have all different types of conservatives and people on the right there. It's not just one type. So I think Blaze is a really good bastion for like anybody on the right or free-minded thinking.
Yeah.
But again, I have no problem with Sid or Elijah.
I'm glad they exposed Jack Murphy. Oh my God.
They didn't know. Here's the thing. And here's the one criticism I'll have. They didn't expose. Sydney did.
Well,
And Elijah just kind of sat back.
actually, Jack exposed himself.
Jack did expose himself.
Because Sydney didn't even know what the fuck she was like. She was just reading super chats. Like, and so I forget who was the super chat name. I can't remember, but the super chatter is hilarious. And Sydney just read it out. What do you think about the cuck article? And Jack, if he just says nothing, if he just says nothing, he is fine. It doesn't matter. But him saying "fuck you" heartfelt and making it one of the funniest fucking things is what completely destroyed him.
And that the thing is, like, my only knock on Elijah is I get it. He's like, she's a big girl. She can handle herself. I wasn't going to white knight. There's a difference between white knighting and defending a friend. Because if you're a legitimate friend,
it's be like,
it's not white knighting to be like, dude, get off her back. She's reading. You don't have to like white knight. Just be like, she was reading a fucking super chat. If you don't want to answer it, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And that was the type of show that it was. And I don't think it would have went if Jack wanted to leave at that point. But you know what though?
Elijah's Ralph showed up at Blaze Studios. The show is insane. Like anything could have happened on that show. So
yeah,
he really 100% could have said something.
And listen, slightly offensive is still a pretty good show. I'll catch it every once in a while. If it's on and Elijah's on, I'll throw it on for a few minutes. I do like Elijah's takes, and Elijah has put in the work. He was on the ground. He still goes on the ground in some of the most dangerous fucking places. So I respect Elijah Schaefer and the way he operates.
And look, I will say that show sparked a lot of things because it went from Jack Murphy being exposed to Ricada and Drex having the whole live stream about Jack Murphy, one of the best live streams I've ever seen, which is now downward spiraled into Ricada basically being a cuck. Yeah. So it's an incredible spark that You Are Here has done.
Yeah, honestly, and then they'll never rekindle that magic because You Are Here was just Dave. We would always talk about those episodes because I was legitimately hurting my stomach sometimes because they were fucking hilarious. And it took a lot of chances too because they openly hosted Nick Fuentes. They didn't care. They brought him in, and Elijah fucking argued with him, and they would make fun of him to his face when he was wrong. And him and Sydney had like a fucking terrible relationship. And they friggin' when John Doyle was on, was some of the best times. I love John Doyle. He's fucking hilarious. Heck Off Commies is a really actually good show. But it was good. It was all good. And it was,
and honestly, maybe it should have been like a fucking shooting star where it just had the short time. Maybe the show should have been that, because if it went that much longer, maybe it's not the same kind of spark and it's not the same kind of memories that
it ended on such a good time because Katie Hopkins was coming in there and just destroying Elijah every time she was there.
Yes,
every time Katie Hopkins was there was when Sid got her revenge, because Katie would just make fun of everything Elijah did.
Oh my God, Nate, you follow the Dabbleverse? Holy shit. I don't follow the Dabbleverse very much, but I know it from the outside. I know I've seen too much of Steel Toe. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, you don't need to know about this shit.
But David is also a massive fan of fucking LOLcow. He watches anything LOLcow. It's his weird.
I pick and choose. I pick and choose what I think.
You've kicked the habit?
Shit. No, I haven't kicked the habit. I'm just saying I pick and choose the shit I want to watch.
David's all about LOLcows. All right. So let's close out. We'll do our last two things right now. Okay. I want to close out on a cool note. So we're going to talk about the VP debate real quick. So VP debate is this Tuesday. It is Commie Tim Waltz and it is JD Vance, which I will openly come out here and say, I'm still touch and go on JD Vance. He's been good. He said a lot of the right things. He wasn't never Trumper. That always put a sour taste in my mouth. but JD Vance is a politician to the fucking core, and I don't trust politicians. That is like my big thing. Like Trump, I still don't trust Trump because Trump is a businessman.
Yeah.
I don't trust them.
I
And
think
JD Vance, he seems solid enough.
He's done a lot of good. He's
He
done a
has done a
lot of good recently. He has been the mouthpiece to Trump rhetoric
Yes.
that we really haven't had.
That we
Like,
wish DeSantis would fucking have been.
well,
Honestly.
it is what basically DeSantis is in Florida.
Yeah.
But that DeSantis didn't really bring into the primary campaign.
So here we do. I'm gonna throw up the rules. CBS News has the rules for the debate up here. So let's get this up because in case anybody's interested, I know we're gonna be on. So maybe Dave, maybe we'll stream.
Stuttering John's a top tier lolcow. I don't need another one in my life.
But maybe maybe. Why did I say baby? What up, baby? Maybe we'll stream the debate and we'll do what we did with the first presidential debate.
Possibility.
Because now that we're on daily, it's going to be on at the same time as we are. It starts at 9. So
We can do that.
The VP debate begins at 9. Moderated by CBS Evening News anchor Norah O'Donnell and Face the Nation moderate chief foreign correspondent Margaret Brennan. So already JD Vance
Great time.
knows it's 3-on-1 right away.
Yeah.
So he needs to not get caught in the same things Trump does. And he's more composed, but JD Vance does have some fire to him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he fires back on some things. And again, I'm not going to tell him the fucking pussyfoot around things because that's where Republicans are a bunch of fucking losers where they're just like, you can't push back too hard and seem mean. It's like, fuck off. Don't be a faggot. Push back. Oh, damn it. We're off at YouTube. Sorry.
Yeah, you fucked up.
We're past 2 hours. We should be okay.
Anyway. You still fucked up. You gotta be careful with that.
11:16 past
You gotta be
2
careful.
hours,
Yeah, I know. You gotta be careful. Either
But
way.
anyway, I still don't care. We're not making money yet. Maybe we make money. I'll be more careful.
You're going to be more careful.
I'll
I'll be on
sell
your
out
ass
when
about
we're
that one.
making money. Anyway, so
We'll have Rumble for that.
let's go over this. There's going to be no opening statements, which I don't mind because I think opening statements, all they are is stump speeches, and you hear a lot. If you're fans of them, if you're on the right, you already know what the left is going to say because the value of being on the right is we know both sides. Thank you, Rush. If you're on the left, you only know what you heard about JD Vance, and what he says isn't going to matter to you at that point anyway. You only know headlines and things they say. You just know that he's weird. That's all you're going to know. Okay. So the debate is 90 minutes starting at 9, which I think is 2 breaks, 4 minutes each. I think that's fine. There's going to be no audience, which actually I'm starting to not mind the fact that there's no audience. There's no interruptions on clapping. I did like some of the times when like Trump will get a zinger and you get a response, right? But that was, Trump did just fine getting zingers and became massive talks during the Kamala debate. So you don't need the crowd to do that. When he said like your administration reads at a level of C-spot run, I fucking lost it. It was so good. And then when he said Kamala was born brain dead this week, that was amazing.
Yes.
But so let's keep going. So no audience. For each question, candidate who asks question, I have 2 minutes to answer. Now, this is the only annoying part about the debates. You don't give them fucking 2 minutes to answer. Answer the question and then let them go. Like there should be more. And then you could, I don't know. This isn't a real debate. Debates aren't real debates in politics. That's the annoying part. So they get 2 minutes to answer and the other candidate will be allowed 2 minutes to respond. Following that, each candidate will have 1 minute for additional rebuttals. And the moderators may give discretion to candidates for additional minute. Okay, boom. It's a normal political debate. Now, I will say to everyone, this is going to be a much more normal debate. Okay. We are going to see a much more these are both politicians. Tim Walz, even though he's a commie dickhead, is still a politician. He's going to be a smarmy little fucking prick.
He's going to bring up weird. He's going to bring up a couch.
Weird. He's going to talk about a couch. He's going to talk about you lied about eating cats and things like that. And I hope JD has receipts to talk about how he's a fucking that's
I think
false.
I
think he will. JD seems to be very well prepared.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a much more by the books political debate where you're going to see them be much more cordial, interrupt at times, but much more cordial. Lights in front of each candidate will indicate how much time they have left to speak. Candidates also have a countdown clock. Let's see. So closing statement at the end, candidates will have 2 minutes each for closing statements. Coin toss in the 26, a winner, choose blah, blah, blah. Will the mics be muted while the other candidate talks? CBS News reserves the rights to mute candidates' microphones or otherwise they will be hot, which is interesting I thought that the debate format was much better when the mics are muted while the other person's talking. I like that you're able to hear someone bury themselves if they're floundering, honestly, because one of the things that I thought buried Trump in 2020 was when he kept interrupting Biden during the debates,
Yep.
because Biden is a fucking retard and will bury himself eventually. And that's what happened in the first debate. You saw that Biden's brain didn't work and Trump couldn't interrupt. So he was just able to come in and just be like, his one line, like, I have no idea what he just said, was incredibly powerful because the rest of the nation didn't. So being like, so this is interesting. And what is interesting to me is I don't think JD Vance is going to be the one interrupting. But what is going to happen is they're going to allow Tim Walz to interrupt a ton. And they are going to allow him to elaborate on his points. And they are going to call JD Vance out and they are going to be fact checking him. So I think that is what we're doing. So will candidates get questions in advance, which is insane. They have to include this. Candidates will not receive any questions in advance, nor will they receive any topics in advance. This is
why would they include that?
because of ABC in the last debate. Obviously, campaign staffers are not permitted to interact with Walsh or Vance during breaks, and candidates are not allowed to have props or pre-written notes on stage. Thank you, Vivek, for that. They will be given a pen and a pad of paper and a water bottle. I do think it's annoying that staffers and campaign people aren't allowed. I think that makes no sense. If you're not prepared, that one zinger they're going to give you is not going to fucking win you a debate.
Yeah.
So, and you get 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, how much can you coach them up? Obviously, we're dealing with Tim Walz, Kamala. They're not savants. Even JD's coming prepared. So that is that. And here is a fun headline. I didn't read the article. I just found this headline to be hilarious because this is leftists drumming up sympathy for Tim Walz and preparing their fans and their followers for a shitty debate performance. Okay. And this is what they like to do because they are setting this bar so low. Same thing as Kamala. If the fact that Kamala got out of that debate was her victory. If Tim Walz gets out of this debate without unraveling, they're going to go to victory because this is the headline. Heading into the vice presidential debate, Tim Walz is fighting nerves.
What?
You've been a governor.
Does he have a stutter as well?
He might. No, he has a fucking brain aneurysm. So Tim Walz is telling people he's just as nervous about facing JD Vance as he was on the Sunday afternoon in August when he warned Kamala Harris in his Running Mate interview that he was a bad debater. This is setting up.
Yeah,
so
it is.
He just survives.
Yeah.
And doesn't come out unraveling or doing a fucking what was it, Dean Cain on stage. Not Dean Cain.
No, Dean Cain's Superman. What the
Cain
fuck's wrong with you?
I fucking love you, Dean Cain. I'm sorry.
Now you met.
Well, he's never coming on the show now. What was that? Howard Dean?
Howard Dean, yes.
Yeah, he doesn't pull one of those. As long as he doesn't pull one of those, they're going to declare victory. It's like maybe more nervous, according to multiple people who spoke to him, which means no one spoke to him. They're making this up. The pressure is even higher when the first time in the modern campaign history, the vice presidential debate is likely to be the last marquee event before the election day. Now, let's be honest. This is not a marquee event. Nobody actually gives a fuck besides politicos. Politicos like this stuff.
Yeah.
But where this is going to be big is the memes and the internet. And that is where Trump won the Kamala debate.
Yeah, and it's
because all the memes
kind of what Squiggle's been getting at in the comments over here. He's saying it's called the 2016. And everything off of view counts and shit like that. So
exactly. So I'm not going to read through this.
No, I don't.
They're going inside of the Walz's debate strategy. Thanks, CNN. You're not rooting for anyone. This is insane. I wonder if they go inside of Coach. He's such a fucking loser. Making people feel joyful, happy. I just only need to read these. What? Oh, hold on. Right. What Walz highlights about Harris and what he's careful not to. Hold on. What is he careful not to highlight? Walz, though, has reminded his staffers that he wasn't the head football coach in Minnesota. He was the assistant coach, blah, 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 blah. Hold on. I want to see. Because they got caught in a lie and now he has to. What does he not want to highlight about her? Hold on. I should have read this article and been good at things. Waltz very deliberately and without being told by Harris or an inner circle, never asks the crowd to elect him vice president. He never talks about what he do on the job. He doesn't even talk about electing us or what the Harris-Waltz administration would be. He talks about Harris, how important it is to get her into the White House, and how excited he is to see what she'll do on the job. You know what they did?
No, look at the quote right under that. The guy is reclaiming old white dude masculinity away from toxicity. I hate these
And
people.
here's the thing. This is
I hate these
I hate these people, but they are also trying to pull the exact playbook for Biden and Obama,
Yes.
where Biden is the white guy that's putting over the minority because the racist motherfuckers that are the most of the Democrat Party are racist, are the ones that are sitting there.
It's a storybook, man.
It's a storybook. He's the first guy. He's clean. He's
Clean.
well spoken. You called a black guy clean and still got elected as the what a racist comment. What, other black people ain't clean? Like, this fucking guy. God, we haven't heard Waltz be like, yo, I saw Kamala took a shower the other day. Like, oh my God, I didn't see what he's not saying about her, but yeah, no, this is
Not just censorship. Full Google algorithmic bias is what they need to cheat. I also just want to do the Howard Stern scream.
Howard Stern.
Howard Dean scream. Since
I thought mine was.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
What's crazy to me is Joe Biden exists, and that ended that guy's campaign.
Oh man,
How did that, like, that's how fickle everyone was. That ended his campaign. He was the front runner to be the Democrat candidate before that moment. It's awesome.
I love it, man.
All
I
right.
love it.
And let's jump on to the last article, last little talking piece here, and it's less about the article because I actually don't care. It's from NPR. NPR sucks, but it's
you want to talk like this? So
it's
we can really have an
we'll do the
NPR
whole
voice, you know.
we'll do the whole show like this right now, so I can sound really, really serious. So
Yeah. So you can sound as intelligent as possible because you're not actually putting any emotion into your speech. You are actually very clear-headed and you know exactly what you want to say at any time, but you don't want to add any connotation to what you're saying. You want to make sure that people have a clear and concise reading of what you're going to say, and you don't want them to be scared off or feel any type of way.
the craziest part to me, Dave, is that Americans, and we think that this actually works and makes us sound intelligent because we can't do British accents well. If they could do good British accents on NPR, they would ditch it and everything would be in British. They would all speak in a very British tone, but because they can't, and because their whole entire demographic there has muted brains, they just need to speak in muted tones. And they just think that this is, they just ASMR their whole entire group.
Yes, and 100%. Look, if you are as monotonous as possible, you can get people to turn on the radio to your station, fall asleep in the first 5 minutes, and then the listen time is as long as possible because that nap is as long as you can make your voice go as slow and as quiet as possible.
So let's lose all of our viewership that we have, and I'll read the whole article in this way. No, fuck that. Oh my God, no. All right, so God damn it. With the NPR, I can't with those people. Anyway, why do they do that? That's how they try to think that like being an intelligent sounding American is. Like honestly, if they could do British accents, they would. Because that's like British people sound smart, like they really do. Even if
certain British people sound smart.
Posh British ones.
Yeah.
The Southerners are just like America, they sound
I think it's South Britain that's the posh ones. I think North Britain is the one that's
it's flip of what United States.
Yes.
Where South, like, and it's funny, it's like Hawk Tuah girl's not a moron, but she knows her accent makes her sound stupid, so she plays into it. Because she's actually like, I love seeing the clips of her saying like something stupid, but then if you watch the whole clip, she actually is making a joke.
I like the memes that are coming out with her.
Talk to her.
No, they're like Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl, went viral for talking about like the Crusades or something like that. And they go into a lengthy thing about like, and it's incredible.
It's awesome. Hey, listen, let her go, man. Let her cook. All right. Anyway, so this NPR article is actually pretty cool for once. They've nothing political involved here. Their Artemis 2 is the second phase of a mission to re-land on the moon. Artemis 1 happened, I believe, in 2021, 2020, I think 2021, 2022, where they sent an unmanned Artemis spacecraft and it orbited around the moon, successfully came back. Now, what they're doing is they're sending 4 individuals in a small ass pod to go do the same thing. Like, this is the size of the pod. It's 12 feet across. From top to bottom, it's 5 feet. It's not a very big pod, but the goal here is to get them to do the same mission. They're going to launch out. They're going to go around the moon. So they're going to go past the dark side, which apparently the aliens were there, and they're going to get shot down. We'll find out. And we were told to not go back. Apparently, if you hear conspiracy theorists, the aliens warned us, don't go to their dark side. So we'll find out. But they're going to go around. They're going to go around the back of the dark side of the moon, and they are going to go the furthest that human beings have ever gone to, right around 250,000 miles away from Earth, which is pretty fucking sweet. What I found crazy, Dave, the speeds that they are going to be traveling in this pod. Let me see if I can find those, because it is actually mind-boggling how fast this craft is going to move. Okay, so they're going to go from 0. And by the time they hit low Earth orbit, they're going to be going 17,000 miles an hour. And then when they come back into atmosphere, they're going to be doing 39 times the speed of sound, 25,000 miles per hour. I can't comprehend that fucking fast. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's really cool. But to be completely honest with you, when you first told me about this and you first texted me about this, I just immediately thought of the moon being made of cheese.
I know, that's all you were saying. You were fucking being a loser.
Thinking about this, I couldn't get it is genuinely really cool, really interesting. I just don't care very much, mainly because now I'm thinking about like spin-offs about how the moon is made of cheese and like make a fucking story about it. And that's just where my mind is right now. I can't get it off that.
But anyway, so this is phase number 2. And they were talking about how this one's tough. Not only because 4 people are in a really small spot, so living space is going to be difficult. They've been working with each other to try and like figure out each other's like cues and shit like that, like to get the fuck away from me type of cues, like how like leave me alone, because they're going to be up there. It's a 10-day trip to get there, swing around. The other thing is they were saying that the margin for error is basically 0. If there's a problem, they have to figure it out. They can't figure it out, they're going to die. Like, that's honestly what they basically said, because they don't have another Artemis or something to launch out to go and intercept them and save them. There is no saving this group of people. So they are going on a potential suicide mission if this doesn't go well. If this does go well, so their job on this mission is to observe and basically feed back all the things about the moon that the sonar, like the radars and things can't, which is going to be big because we don't have information on the backside of the moon, really. So they're going to be doing that. And then if this is successful, the third launch is going to bring them to the South Pole, where they know there's water because there's ice and there's crevices, and they want to go and explore that part of the moon with the goal. And this is, obviously in 2025 is when it's going to launch. And by 2031 is when they want to get people back on the moon to do that exploration. The goal is to figure out moon's orbit, have a orbiting space station around it. Basically, one of the Artemis is becoming a space station. And they said that if they could do water, they can create fuel, so that they can have a fueling station there to now get to Mars. The whole goal is to use the moon as a satellite and a jump off point, which, we hear a lot of conspiracy theorists saying like they land on the moon, blah, 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 all that type of stuff. But this is pretty fucking badass, Dave, that it's now not, can we do it? It's no, we want to do it. And we are now making legitimate attempts and tests to not try to do it, but we're going to figure out how to fucking do it. Like, I think this is awesome. That the fact that within our lifetime, Dave, there's a real possibility that we could see people in a space station orbiting around the moon, legitimately trying to get to Mars. I think it's pretty fucking cool.
I think it'd be really cool to figure out the recipes we can make with moon cheese. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think I think it's going to be a completely different flavor. It might not even be good, but it's definitely going to be a delicacy.
Dave has left. The you fucking asshole. You're failing the whole thing.
I can't stop thinking about it, man.
But Dave, here's the most important part, and I'm going to read it to you because it's a history-making mission for multiple reasons. And what would you guess the
There's women on the flight.
biggest reason? Let's hear about this. Along with Koch and Wiseman, who they highlight,
Definitely some type of
mission specialist Jeremy Hansen and pilot Victor Glover round out the crew. Koch, Hansen, and Glover will be the first woman, Canadian, and black astronauts, respectively, to head to the moon. Now, I love how they include Canadian as like a minority.
Canadian is actually the lowest rung on the Impression Olympics. They get all the privileges because they're just the worst type of
Canadian's the immutable characteristic that gets discriminated against. I did find that to be.
Well, I mean, look, when with their beady little eyes, their flapping heads, they're full of lies. So we gotta understand that they're just a different type of human.
Now, here's the thing. I mostly don't give a shit about the identity stuff, right? Because all the firsts with identities are usually fucking stupid. Outside of being Canadian, because that's fucking stupid. The other ones are pretty fucking cool. If you can achieve to be, the first woman going around there, even the black one doesn't matter to me as much, but it still has some sort of prominence in history, right? Because to me, it's, guy and a girl do things. Like, I don't give a fuck about your skin color or anything like that. But it is cool.
Girls can do things now.
Seriously. But it is cool that, there is this part of history that is, for once, I'm okay with them highlighting this part for history because mankind is.
Notice how they don't bring up the cheese because we definitely have some of the cheese already. They just haven't told us.
It's a good thing this is the last topic of the show, Dave. It's a good thing.
You don't even know where to go anymore. You don't even know any.
I mean, it's just. I exist now. I'm just gonna scroll through this article.
Look.
Just gonna scroll through. Don't
There's
start fucking talking about
cheese.
cheese. Don't
There's
start
the
talking about
cheese.
cheese.
But it's protected by the man on the moon, so we're gonna have to do some trade there in order for us to get the cheese. I don't know what he's gonna want. Maybe he wants the woman that's going there. Maybe that's why she's on it. Who knows? There's a lot about the moon that we're gonna figure out with this, and we're gonna be going really fast. We're gonna be going incredibly fast. Some say the fastest they've ever seen. So
go away. This quote, I forget who. I think this is from this guy Mariah Jha, who is aerospace engineer, professor of aerospace engineer. This is the quote I said where it's like, they're gonna have to figure it the fuck out. We don't have more of these Orions just sitting on shelves to go launch and rendezvous with them and all of this other stuff. They're going to have to figure it out or not. Like, that is one of the most morbid, direct quotes I have ever heard.
I mean, that's what they're dealing with, man.
And listen, I've read some of the trainings in there. They went to the Pacific Ocean to figure out when they come back how to get out. After coming crashing down at fucking 25,000 miles an hour. They hiked in Iceland to hike along volcanic type of things and stuff like that. Like, they've done some legitimate training because they also are going to have to be doing a lot of tasks in that tiny little thing while fucking flying around. Obviously, zero G is a different feel. I don't know what that is, but man, again, this type of stuff. David's making jokes, but this type of stuff fascinates me because I think it's.
I'm not making jokes.
No, fuck you.
How are these jokes?
You're a joke.
This is a very serious topic to me, man.
But I think that this is something really cool. Oh, there's a correction. Previous description of the story said that mission was NASA's first crewed mission to the moon. The mission is NASA's first crewed mission to the moon in over 50 years. Okay,
how'd they fuck that up?
How? They fucked it up, Dave. Let's scroll back up here. We're dealing with NPR, okay? And when you are a company that needs 3 people to write a story, then I just believe that we might not have competent individuals writing this, even though the story wasn't bad. Scott Ditro, Michael Levitt, and Ashley Brown maybe have one competent brain between the three of them.
They didn't even bring up the moon cheese, man. How good of an article is it? Come on.
The only thing that has cheese, Dave, is your balls. Anyway, outside of that, that was fun. So hold up. The Challenger conspiracy, I did hear something like that, but I don't know the ins and outs of the Challenger conspiracy. Squiggles.
No, I have not heard the Walton and Johnson show, by the way. I saw that. I looked it up. I've never heard of it. Sounds fun.
So this is actually one of the things I tweet at my congressman about. I'm always like, is this where the moon colony money went? I mean, yeah, Dave's right. I heard Greta Thunberg say that because you know what, Nate? Don't feed the troll.
I am right.
Nate.
I am completely right. Look, I bet you if you were to ask Elon why, his actual reasoning for getting off of Earth, I know he wants to go to Mars, but he wants that fucking cheese. Elon Musk is a very cultural individual, okay? He knows the delicacy it would be to have moon cheese. He knows how delicious it would be. He would want it for himself, and that's why he is so hard on pushing space travel.
Thanks, Dave.
No problem.
You know, you're an enlightened one. But Squiggles,
I'm not the enlightened one. I'm just the one that you know, I believe in that.
That is a conspiracy theory that I actually hope is true. That they did fake the death of the Challenger people for whatever reason, that they're all still alive. Because as much as that would suck to be lied to, that's actually a happy ending. That they didn't fucking die on the Challenger. So that's one that I actually hope is true. That they are all still alive. They're living on an island somewhere because they participated in government program. And they'll come back with MK Ultra shit and try to murder people. Anyway, everyone, we're getting out of here. I'm tired of hearing David talk about his from under cheese that he is growing. And
I know I've been a bit of a monster today, you know. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty good topic. You know, that was a good one to end off on.
This is terrible.
You can finish it.
This is terrible. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate it. Squiggles and Nate, we appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Going up there in the chat and giving us some good stuff. We have fun as always. Everyone watching out there on X, everyone watching out there on YouTube and on Facebook. We appreciate all you. Go give us a smash that like button, subscribe, follow, spread this word of mouth, all that good stuff. Squiggles, you're going off. And then if you feel so inclined, let other people know that we are here and we're now doing this nightly for the most part. We might miss a few nights here or there, but
hashtag the cheese. Damn fucking right.
Are we going to start this? Nate,
damn fucking right.
Nate, don't make me ban you. You are a super fan. Don't make me ban you. Okay. But yeah, anyway, we appreciate you all. We will be back and we will be back better than ever. I'm going to try and do something tomorrow after my other show. So if anyone's interested in a track show, Talking in Ovals, track and field on at 9 o'clock on Mondays, go subscribe there as well if you like track and field. But I'm going to go there. And I think afterward, Dave, you don't have to join me if you don't want to, but afterwards I might try and jump on and do a few topics, maybe an hour or so. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. But everyone, thank you so much. We appreciate you all. Have a wonderful night. Bye. Good